Welcome to Wife Cheating Story. I hope you have an enjoyable and relaxing time listening. Let's get started.
Lightning knifes the midnight sky, bearing a world about to collapse. No one prepared me for the day my wife demanded a thrill beyond our vows. They call it open marriage, but it's a guillotine above all I treasure. Darkness seized each corner, twisting talk into silent duels. I never imagined I'd become the spectator of my own downfall. Her late-night whispers on the phone were only the beginning. Was I prisoner or fool clinging to illusions? Now I'm truly done playing the victim. One by one, secrets unravel while I steal my soul. This heartbreak won't define me. Before we begin, let me know where you're tuning in from down in the comments. And if you enjoy this story, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our next tale. I wake up to the sound of the coffee maker sputtering in the kitchen downstairs. It's something I always look forward to, this ordinary sign that my day's about to start. Sometimes I forget how comforting routine can be. For the past 20 years, I've taken pride in a steady job, a modest but pleasant house, and my family, my wife Lauren and our teenagers, Zoe and Marcus. Lauren and I moved into this suburban neighborhood right after we got married. Back then, the place felt full of promise, quiet streets lined with oak trees, neighbors who waved at you from across their lawns, and that faint whiff of fresh paint when we first stepped into the house. I still remember how Lauren's eyes lit up at the sight of the pale blue walls in the living room. She said it was just the perfect color for raising kids in a calm environment. I couldn't have agreed more. We planned on making so many memories here. As I slip out of bed, I hear Lauren's phone buzzing on the nightstand. She's usually up before me, so I'm a bit surprised to see her still lying there, one arm flung over her forehead. Maybe she had a late-night call with Jessica, her best friend from work, who's always chatting about the latest gossip. Lauren's been restless lately, and I can't decide if it's just stress or something else. She's always had a kind of restless energy, but in the past few months it's felt sharper, like she's searching for a new thrill. Walking downstairs, I find Zoe seated at the kitchen table, scrolling through her phone. She's wearing a baggy sweatshirt with some band's name on it, hair tied in a loose ponytail, looking half asleep. My coffee mug is already out, a small detail that warms me more than the coffee itself. "Morning, Dad," she says, eyes not leaving her phone. "Mom not up yet?" I shake my head, flipping on the overhead light. "She's still in bed. Everything okay with you?" "Yeah, I'm good." Zoe shrugs. "Got a geometry test today. Should be fine." Lauren finally appears at the foot of the stairs, tugging her robe closed. She greets me with a quick smile, polite, routine. Then she moves wordlessly to the fridge, rummaging for something. I notice the dark circles under her eyes, but I pretend not to. Lately, I've made a habit of swallowing my questions. If she's tired of work or tired of her circle of friends, she'll come around eventually. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Marcus is next to come stumbling down. He's almost as tall as I am now. At 15, he's got that gangly build that makes him look like a colt. He's yawning so hard I'm surprised he doesn't pass out. "Morning," he mumbles, heading for the cereal box. Lauren offers him a small grin as she sets out a bowl for him. Domestic normalcy. Moments like these are why I've always felt like the luckiest man alive, my kids, my wife, our place in a stable neighborhood. Sure, bills pile up or we get stuck in traffic, but that's standard fare. Deep down, I've always assumed that as long as we're together, everything else will figure itself out. Before work, Lauren and I share a quick kiss by the door. There's a ghost of tension behind her eyes, but I chalk it up to her schedule. "You okay?" I ask gently. She nods too quickly. "Of course, just running late. Jessica's been calling me non-stop about some new project. I'll see you tonight." When she's gone, Zoe looks up from her phone. "Mom's been acting weird, right?" She doesn't wait for my answer. "I just noticed she's always somewhere else lately." I brush it off with a non-committal smile. "She'll be fine, don't worry." Zoe shrugs and returns to her screen. As I leave, I can't shake a small ripple of unease, but it's not enough to truly worry me yet. I've always believed that no matter the storm, Lauren and I know how to hold our house together. At work, the day passes in its usual blur, answering emails, dealing with minor crises, grabbing lunch at the same corner deli. Around 2 p.m., I see a text from Lauren. "Meeting Jessica after hours. I'll be home late." I stare at the screen, trying to quell the small sting of disappointment. She's been going out a lot recently. I remind myself she's just under pressure at work. Maybe her friend is helping her unwind. By the time I get home, I'm greeted by an empty living room and the faint sound of the television upstairs. Zoe and Marcus are in Marcus's room watching some old sitcom together. I slip off my shoes and check the fridge for leftovers. Lauren's not here yet, and the kitchen feels oddly quiet. Sometimes I swear I can hear the hum of the refrigerator more clearly these days, like the house has turned up the volume on silence. I warm some leftover pasta and settle on the couch, turning on a random show to keep me company. It's not that I mind waiting for Lauren, it's just that I miss those evenings we used to share. We'd both throw ourselves into cooking dinner, open a bottle of wine, and talk about random little things. Now dinner times have grown lonely. Around 9, she comes in. Her cheeks are flushed, and she looks almost excited about something. I'm relieved to see her, but there's a slight sense of distance in her eyes, like she's bringing energy in from outside, but leaving me behind the moment she steps through the door. "Hey," I say, forcing a smile. "How was your night?" She hovers by the doorway, shedding her coat. "Not bad. Jessica and I went to some new bar. It's got these ridiculous cocktails, but we had a decent time." "Glad you had fun." My voice sounds too careful, even to my own ears. "You want some pasta? I saved you some." She waves it off. "No, thanks." I grabbed a bite with her. She hesitates, meeting my eyes for a second. "Listen, I'm gonna head upstairs, maybe read or something." She disappears before I can protest. I sit back on the couch, leftover pasta congealing on my plate. Something stirs in my gut, a warning that maybe this routine I've relied on isn't as stable as I've thought. But I push it aside as best I can. We're just going through a weird patch. Maybe she's going through a midlife crisis. It happens to the best of us, right? Eventually, I wash up and check on the kids. Zoe's in her room, hunched over a math workbook. Marcus is already asleep. The hallway is dark except for the dim glow under the bedroom door. When I enter, Lauren's lying on her side, scrolling her phone. She looks up. There's a flicker of tension, then a polite, "Hey." I get into bed without pressing for conversation. She rolls over, phone in hand, as if to say she's done talking for the night. My mind whirls with questions I don't dare speak out loud. I wonder if she's truly okay, or if there's something bigger at play. I comfort myself with the idea that tomorrow's another day, another chance for us to talk, to reconnect. Right now, I focus on the steady hum of the air conditioner and the knowledge that even if the ground feels shaky, I still have hope that we can fix whatever's wrong. As I drift to sleep, I hold on to that hope like a lifeline, thinking maybe, just maybe, I'm overreacting. After all, no marriage is perfect. We all go through phases, and we always come out on top, right? But in the back of my mind, there's a nagging sense that something deeper has shifted, and I'm not sure how to shift it back. I'm halfway through my morning coffee when I overhear a conversation that stops me cold. Lauren is in the dining room, her voice low yet urgent, talking on the phone. I step closer to the doorway, not exactly trying to snoop, but too curious to walk away. "She just doesn't get it, Jess," I hear Lauren say. "I'm bored, you know? Like, life is passing me by or something." There's a pause. She listens, then laughs a short, humorless sound. No, not that. It's more like I need something new, something exciting. I can't keep living in this bubble forever. My stomach knots. I wasn't expecting to hear the word bored. After all these years, I assumed we had built a solid foundation enough to keep our marriage safe from drifting or disinterest. I wonder if she's talking about her job, but the way she says, "I can't keep living in this bubble," makes it sound personal, like she's talking about us. I hear her footsteps, so I shuffle back into the kitchen, feigning total innocence as I rinse out my mug. When she enters, there's a flicker of surprise on her face. For a second, I think she might explain what she was talking about. Instead, she just clears her throat. "Morning," she says casually. "Morning," I echo. "Everything okay?" She hesitates, then flashes me a tight smile. "Yeah, just talking to Jess about stuff at work." I nod, forcing myself not to question further. But the gnawing feeling inside me doesn't disappear. If anything, it grows. The rest of the day unfolds in fragments that only heighten my concern. During dinner, Lauren seems preoccupied with her phone again, occasionally shooting me a look like she's got something on her mind she won't share. Zoe notices the tension she always does. She's perched across the table, pushing peas around her plate and glancing from me to Lauren like she's trying to solve a puzzle. Marcus, on the other hand, is too busy gulping his soda and talking about the upcoming basketball tryouts to notice anything amiss. Coach said we need to hustle more. I was thinking of practicing in the driveway tomorrow. You should. That's good initiative, I say, smiling at him. Lauren barely reacts. After a few minutes of forced small talk, she excuses herself and disappears upstairs. Zoe lifts an eyebrow, then stares at me. Dad? I sigh. It's nothing. She's just had a rough day at work, I guess. My daughter's eyes flicker with doubt, but she doesn't push. It's one of those moments I realize Zoe is older than I remember, on the cusp of adulthood, reading between lines I haven't fully spelled out. I promise myself I'll talk to Lauren later, but in the back of my mind, I'm worried I might not like what I find out. That night, as we're settling into bed, I muster the courage to ask, "Is something bothering you, Lauren? You know you can tell me anything." She stiffens under the blanket. "I'm fine, Michael. Just stressed. I keep telling you that." "I know," I say gently. "But if there's something else..." She cuts me off. "I said I'm fine." I let it drop, not wanting to push her away entirely. But her cold tone stings. I lie awake, listening to her breathing slow as she drifts off. My mind replays her conversation from that morning, her complaint about boredom. Something about the word feels like a dirty bomb dropped in the middle of our relationship, threatening to contaminate everything we've built. The next day, I catch more hints. I come home from work earlier than usual. Zoe and Marcus are both out, Zoe at a friend's house, Marcus at basketball practice. I expect Lauren to be cooking or reading or maybe just watching a show in the living room. Instead, I find her standing by the window, phone in hand, frowning deeply. She jolts when she hears me come in. "Oh, I didn't hear you," she says, pressing the phone against her thigh as if to hide it. "Sorry," I reply. "Didn't mean to sneak up. Everything okay?" She forces a quick nod. "Just Jessica again, complaining about the day." "Ah, Jessica," I echo. My voice sounds flat. Deep inside, I'm wondering how one person can talk to a friend so much. "Well, I'm making some tea. Want some?" She chews the inside of her cheek before finally saying, "Sure." In the kitchen, I set the kettle on the stove and watch the flame flicker. The silence between us feels denser than usual. I try to recall the last time we had a simple, fun conversation. Maybe it was a month ago when we joked about a terrible reality show we'd been half watching. Now, there's a distance between us, and I can't pinpoint exactly when it started to form. It's like an invisible wall I'm only now recognizing, brick by brick. "I ran into Mr. Porter from across the street," I offer, hoping to spark small talk. "He said the neighborhood's hosting a barbecue next weekend." Lauren shrugs, opening a cupboard. "I'm not sure I'll make it. I might have to meet someone for work." She glances at me, her expression unreadable. A heartbeat passes. "Maybe we could go together for a bit," I venture. "We haven't gone out as a couple in ages. Might be nice." Her smile is fleeting, hardly touching her eyes. "I'll think about it." We stand there as the kettle whistles. In that high-pitched scream, I feel my frustration mounting, but I hold it in. I pour the steaming water into 2 mugs, drop in tea bags, and hand her one. We're inches apart, yet I'm not sure if we've ever been further. My mind spins with speculation. Is she unhappy with me? Is she regretting our life choices? I try to break the tension by brushing a lock of hair behind her ear. For a moment, I see the old Lauren, the woman who used to greet me with a playful grin after a long day. She almost leans into my touch, then pulls away. "Thanks," she says softly, stepping back and taking her mug with her as she retreats upstairs. I stand alone in the kitchen, the hum of the refrigerator more deafening than ever. Bored. She used that word. I keep replaying it in my head. Bored with our marriage. Bored with me? My pulse pounds at the thought, but I can't run away from it now. Over the next few days, the signs multiply. Lauren is either glued to her phone or distant in her thoughts. She's there physically, but rarely present emotionally. When she does talk, it's to criticize something at work or to mention how she feels trapped by routines. I keep telling myself it's just a phase, that she'll snap out of it. Still, doubt gnaws at me. One evening, I overhear her telling Jessica that she wants more excitement. I'm in the hallway, on my way to ask her if she wants ice cream for dessert, but her words freeze me in my tracks. Everything's so predictable, I hear her say. I need something that shakes up my life, you know. My hand falls away from the doorknob and I back off, heart pounding. Questions swirl. Is she frustrated with our relationship, our routine? Does she just need a hobby, or is this deeper than that? My mind drifts to that neighbor who got divorced last year because he and his wife grew apart. I remember feeling sorry for them, telling Lauren we'd never let that happen. Now I'm not so sure. As I go to bed that night, I wonder how we got here. We used to share dreams about traveling with the kids, maybe retiring in a lakeside cabin someday. Now she's whispering about needing a bigger thrill, complaining that life is stale. And I'm left in the dark, unable to fix what I can't fully understand. I close my eyes, fighting the knots in my stomach, wishing I could just turn back the clock to when we felt unbreakable. It's a Wednesday night when Lauren drops the words that change my life forever. The day begins like any other. I wake up, brew coffee, shuffle the kids to school. Lauren leaves early for an office meeting, promising to be home by dinner. I go about my work, bracing for a typical evening where I cook something simple and wait for her to come back. Yet the moment she walks through the door, I sense a different energy. She's smiling in this unsettlingly bright way, like she's decided something big. In my gut, I feel a sense of impending doom, but I can't place why. She sets her purse down, takes off her jacket, and goes straight to the living room. Zoe and Marcus are upstairs, so it's just the two of us. I had an interesting conversation with Jessica, Lauren says, voice tight with excitement or nerves, maybe both. About relationships. I lean against the kitchen counter, arms crossed. Yeah? Something about her boyfriend again? She shakes her head. Not exactly. It's more modern than that. She drops onto the couch, gesturing for me to sit. Jessica has this friend who's in an open marriage. My heart skips a beat. She's used the phrase open marriage, but I'm not entirely sure I heard her right. I sink into the armchair across from her, feeling the atmosphere shift. That's where both partners can see other people, right? I ask carefully, trying to keep my tone neutral. My pulse thunders in my ears, but I will myself to act calm. Lauren nods, her eyes sparking with an almost feverish light. Exactly. They set rules, boundaries, but they still love each other. They just invite new experiences to keep things exciting. My throat dries. Why are you telling me this? She clasps her hands in her lap. Because I'm curious. Jessica says it's becoming more common. You know, people exploring open relationships. I've been feeling stifled, Michael. I don't want to hurt you, but I can't ignore it anymore. I need something different. A cold sweat washes over me. You're suggesting we open our marriage? She lets out a breath, nodding. Yes, I just want to try. It doesn't mean we don't love each other. It's about expanding, experiencing more while we still can. I can't believe what I'm hearing. This is the same woman who used to laugh at cheesy rom-coms where couples overcame adversity through faithfulness. Now she's casually suggesting we let strangers into our marriage. Lauren, do you know what you're saying? I keep my voice low, but inside I'm screaming. You want to what? Date other men? She winces. I'm not saying I'm jumping into bed with the first guy I see. It's just, I'm bored, Michael. We live the same day every day. You get up, go to work, we pay bills, we watch some TV, and we go to sleep. Sometimes it feels like we're dying slowly. My jaw tenses. The word bored again. And so your solution is to invite infidelity? That's what this is. Let's call it what it is. She runs a hand through her hair, clearly agitated. It's not infidelity if we both agree. Jessica says it can actually bring couples closer if it's done right. Jessica says a lot of things, I mutter. Since when do we base our entire marriage on Jessica's advice? She flinches. Don't make this about her. This is coming from me too. I've been feeling it for months, maybe years. I'm just finally putting words to it. I stare at the wall, my mind spinning. Months, maybe years. She's been dissatisfied all this time without telling me. You do realize we have 2 kids upstairs? I say quietly. What happens if they find out? How does that work? We keep it discreet, she assures me. No bringing people here. We keep our marriage intact, but we have the freedom to explore. She exhales, glancing at me hopefully. It's not just for me, Michael. You could see other women. You can find excitement, too. My stomach roils at the suggestion. Sure, I've had attractions like any human, but I can't imagine stepping out on my wife even with permission. That vow we made on our wedding day meant something. I feel like she's tearing it to shreds with a single conversation. Lauren, I say, trying to steady my voice, this could destroy everything we've built. She gazes at me, eyes flicking with something close to desperation. Or it could save us. Let's be honest, we don't talk like we used to. You barely notice me anymore. This house, this life, it's become routine. I'm not saying it's your fault, but it's all too predictable. I can't help the surge of anger. I notice you every damn day, Lauren. You're my wife, the mother of my children. If you're bored, there are other ways to fix that. A new job, a hobby therapy, for God's sake. But this? Her voice cracks. I've tried hobbies. I've tried girls' nights. I've tried everything. She leans forward, lowering her tone. Look, if we don't do something, I'm afraid I'll end up resenting you for trapping me. I don't want that. I want us to grow together, even if it means growing in directions we never considered. I feel a lump in my throat the size of a fist. Fear grips me. Fear of losing her. Fear of losing my kids. Fear of a divorce that might tear the family apart. And in that horrible moment, I realize she's cornering me. If I say no, she'll probably do it behind my back or walk away altogether. If I say yes, I'm complicit in the destruction of a traditional marriage I believed in. Michael? Her voice quivers. I swallow hard. What would the rules be? She exhales relief, as though she's pleased I'm willing to discuss. No emotional entanglements, just physical fun, she starts, though she looks uncertain. No bringing lovers to our house, no ignoring our family obligations, and we be honest with each other about who we see. Honesty about infidelity. The notion feels surreal. There's no going back from this, I warn her, my voice trembling. If we open that door, it won't close easily. She nods, tears gathering in her eyes. I know. Silence stretches between us, and I can barely breathe. My mind churns with images of her with another man, images I never wanted to consider. Yet I see the desperation in her, and I imagine the alternative, a divorce that would tear Zoe and Marcus's world apart. My head spins as I weigh the lesser evil. Finally, I let out a shaky breath. Fine, but on my terms. No humiliating me publicly, no lovers in this home, no ignoring our kids, and if it gets out of hand, we stop. Understood? Her tears spill over, but she smiles a broken, relieved smile. Yes, thank you. You won't regret this, I promise. I already regret it. My heart feels like it's shredding in my chest, but I can't see another way. I love my kids too much to risk losing them. If Lauren's offering this twisted compromise instead of a clean break, maybe it's my only chance to keep my family intact, even if it means sharing my wife's body with someone else. I walk out of the living room in a daze, heading upstairs. Each step feels heavier, like gravity is punishing me for this choice. Inside, a voice screams that I've just signed away my dignity. But I push it aside, holding on to a flimsy hope that maybe this will blow over, that Lauren will realize how insane this is, and we'll find our way back to normal. For now, all I feel is the crushing weight of a reality I never asked for. I never thought the fallout would be so immediate. It's only been a few days since Lauren and I had that life-altering talk, but everything feels off-kilter. I wake up each morning with a pit in my stomach, bracing for what this open marriage agreement might look like. Lauren acts friendlier toward me, which is bizarre because her cheerful mood only reminds me of the wedge between us. We haven't told the kids anything, obviously. Zoe and Marcus have their own routines. Zoe's busy applying to colleges, and Marcus is laser-focused on basketball. I do my best to keep things normal for them, driving Marcus to practice, helping Zoe research universities. Meanwhile, Lauren has been going out more often, especially on weekends. She claims she's meeting Jessica at clubs or bars, though I'm not naive enough to think it's just them dancing and sipping cocktails. One Saturday evening, I'm in the kitchen making dinner spaghetti, something simple Zoe asked for when Lauren breezes in, already dressed to kill in a black top and tight jeans. The kind of outfit she used to wear maybe once or twice a year, usually for date nights with me. My heart clenches. Going somewhere? I ask, keeping my voice level. She checks her reflection in the window, adjusting her makeup. Yeah, Jess is picking me up soon. We're checking out that new place downtown. Zoe peers over from the living room, raising an eyebrow. Wow, Mom, you look fancy. Lauren offers a half smile. Thanks, sweetie. Just felt like dressing up. I force myself to focus on the simmering sauce. My appetite is already gone. There's an ache in my chest that feels like shame, jealousy, and heartbreak tangled together. I can practically see the moment Zoe and Marcus will start asking questions if this becomes a pattern. But tonight, they seem to let it pass. When Lauren leaves, the house feels strange emptier than before. Zoe and Marcus both notice how quiet I get, but neither says anything. Dinner is a stilted affair of random conversation about school assignments and weekend plans. I nod in the right places, but my mind is elsewhere. Later, after the kids head to their rooms, I sit alone in the living room, TV on low volume. I flip channels endlessly, not really watching anything. My phone rests on the coffee table, silent. A part of me wants to call Lauren to check on her, but I know that'd only feed the humiliation. If she's out with someone else, do I really want to confirm it? By midnight, she's still not back. I feel physically ill imagining what might be happening wherever she is. This open marriage arrangement is a fresh wound, and the scab hasn't even started to form. My thoughts spiral, picturing her dancing with some guy who can't wait to take her home. All the possible scenarios churn my stomach. Finally, around 1 a.m., I hear the car pull into the driveway. Lauren steps inside, her makeup slightly smudged, hair disheveled. She doesn't look guilty, more like she's on some adrenaline high. I don't want to meet her eyes, but she comes straight to the living room. "You're still up?" she asks, flipping on the lamp. She sounds almost cheerful. "Couldn't sleep," I reply, voice tight. She sighs, setting her purse on the coffee table. "Michael, we agreed we wouldn't interrogate each other, remember? This only works if we respect each other's space." The words sting. "I'm not interrogating you," I say through clenched teeth. "I just couldn't sleep." Her gaze shifts to the floor. "Okay." She seems to deflate a bit. "Look, I know it's hard, but it'll get easier, I promise." I can't help the bitterness that creeps into my tone. "Easier for who?" She doesn't answer. Eventually, she just wishes me goodnight and goes upstairs. I sit there for a while, my thoughts dark and churning. The next morning, we pretend everything's fine for the kids. Lauren even makes pancakes, acting almost giddy like we're a normal, happy family. But Zoe isn't fooled. While Lauren's in the shower, Zoe comes into the kitchen. She picks at a pancake on her plate and lowers her voice so Marcus can't hear from the other room. "Dad, is Mom okay? She's acting so weird lately. Going out a lot, buying clothes, and she never used to do that." I try to keep my face neutral. She's just got some new hobbies, I guess. Friends in the city. Zoe narrows her eyes. "You sure? She seems different. Like she doesn't care about us as much." The remark hits me like a punch. I want to reassure her, but I also don't want to lie. "She loves you," I finally manage. "Sometimes people go through changes. It doesn't mean she doesn't care." Zoe looks unconvinced. She walks away, leaving her pancake half-eaten. I swallow hard, guilt swirling in my gut. This is exactly what I didn't want. My kids feeling neglected, noticing the cracks in our family. Later that week, Lauren misses dinner again. Zoe storms off to her room, Marcus busies himself with video games, and I simmer in my growing frustration. By the time Lauren strolls through the door, a giddy smile plastered on her face. My anger is barely contained. "Another fun night out?" I ask, trying to keep my voice low so the kids don't overhear. She sets her purse down, glancing at the stairs nervously. "Yes, actually, Jess and I—" "Cut the crap," I hiss, surprising even myself with my sharp tone. "You think I'm stupid? I know you're not with Jess all the time." Lauren's eyes flash. "Don't raise your voice, the kids are upstairs." I force my voice into a harsh whisper. "Then don't treat me like I'm blind. Do you realize Zoe's upset?" Marcus is confused. "You swore this wouldn't affect them." She looks away, guilt flickering across her features. "I'm careful. They don't know anything for sure." "That's not the point," I reply, arms crossed. You're gone, and they see it. They feel it, Lauren. We can't pretend your absences don't have consequences. She exhales shakily. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't expect it to move this fast, but once I tasted this new freedom, it's like I can't get enough of it. Her voice trembles with excitement and a hint of fear. I'm trying to keep it discreet, but maybe I need to slow down. I want to scream that she shouldn't have started in the first place. Instead, I rub the bridge of my nose, exhausted. You do whatever you want, Lauren, but leave the kids out of it. They deserve better than half-truths and your midnight dates. She nods, tears gathering in her eyes. I know. I'll do better. But even as she says it, I'm not convinced. The look in her eyes tells me she's intoxicated by this new sense of possibility. I suspect she won't be able to stop now that she's started. Feeling drained, I head upstairs, ignoring the ache in my chest. Maybe a part of me still hopes she'll snap out of it. Another part is whispering that the marriage I once cherished is already crumbling. I find Zoe in her room, reading quietly. She looks up. Hey, Dad. Mom home? Yeah, I say, forcing a tight smile. She's downstairs. Probably heading to bed soon. She watches my expression. Things are weird, she states bluntly. I nod, swallowing. They are, but I love you and Marcus, and nothing's going to change that. She tries to smile back, though worry lines crease her forehead. We love you too, Dad. Then she hesitates. Just don't let this break us, okay? Her words pierce my heart, but I manage to nod. I'll do my best, kiddo. Back in the hallway, I pause at the closed bedroom door. Lauren's probably behind it, maybe crying, maybe texting whoever she's been seeing. The choice to open that door or leave it alone feels enormous. But I decide to keep walking to the guest room instead. I'm too drained to face her right now. Part of me thinks ignoring her is safer than confronting a truth I can't bear. Another part whispers that this is just the beginning of a much darker path. As I lie in the guest bed, eyes fixed on the dark ceiling, I feel the first real stirrings of a new, grim determination. If Lauren wants her freedom, fine. But I won't stand here and be humiliated or watch my kids suffer. For the first time, a small thought takes root in my mind. Something that says, if she keeps pushing me, I need to protect what's mine, even if it means taking steps I never thought I'd take. It's a quiet vow, one that pulses in my chest with each heartbeat. And with it, a murmur of anger and heartbreak merges into a faint whisper of resolve. I can't be just a bystander in my own life. Morning feels heavier now. I roll over in bed, half hoping to see Lauren next to me with that old familiar warmth in her eyes. Instead, the covers are smooth, no sign of her. I guess she went downstairs or maybe left for work early. An odd pang clenches my chest. This used to be a shared life, and yet every day feels more like I'm drifting alone. I shuffle to the bathroom, turn on the faucet, and splash cold water on my face. The mirror reflects a man with tired eyes, scruff along his jaw I forgot to shave last night. My mind replays flashes of Lauren's late outings, her giddy expression when she returns, and the sour taste it leaves in my mouth. Since this open marriage got the green light, I feel like she's a rocket that blasted off. I'm stuck on the launch pad, wondering how the hell we got here. Downstairs, Zoe and Marcus sit at the table. Zoe's flipping through a textbook history from the looks of it. Marcus is half asleep, spooning cereal into his mouth. Morning, guys, I say, forcing as much normalcy as I can muster. Zoe gives me a small nod. Where's Mom? She asks, sounding like she's braced for a disappointing answer. I glance around. No clue. Maybe she left early. Marcus shrugs, eyes still on his bowl. He hasn't been talking much lately. A few days ago, he tried to ask me if something was wrong with Mom, but I played it off. I regret that. The kids are smart. They see cracks forming even if they can't pinpoint them. I heat a mug of instant coffee and gulp it down with little satisfaction. When they leave for school, the house falls into that eerie silence again. Normally, I'd be off to the office too, but I took a personal day to clear my head, or at least attempt to. A million questions swirl. Should I confront Lauren again? Is this my life now? I pull my phone out, scrolling through contacts until I land on Emma's name. We've known each other since we were teens. She's my closest friend outside this marriage. I hesitate, but then I hit call. The phone rings once, twice, until I hear Emma's bright but concerned greeting. "Hey, Michael, everything okay?" I exhale. "Not really. Got a minute?" She tells me she's free for a bit, so I suggest grabbing lunch. She agrees without hesitation, sensing I need a friend more than ever. Emma's always had this calm presence, like no matter how chaotic the situation, she can distill it down to something simpler. We meet at a small cafe a few blocks from her workplace. She's seated in a corner booth, laptop bag at her side. When I slide in across from her, she looks me up and down, eyebrows knitting. "You look exhausted," she says gently. "That's an understatement," I mutter, forcing a grin. "Didn't get much sleep." She signals the waiter for coffee. I notice her eyes are warm and there's a tension in her shoulders like she's bracing herself for bad news. So I give it to her straight. Everything from Lauren's "I'm bored" laments to the open marriage proposal to how she's practically living a single life now. Emma listens, occasionally interjecting with a quiet, "Oh, Michael," or "That's awful." By the time I'm done, my coffee's gone cold. She actually asked for an open marriage? Emma shakes her head in disbelief. "I mean, I've heard about that kind of arrangement, but this is not something I ever thought Lauren would do." "Me neither," I say, voice cracking. "I feel like my whole marriage just fell off a cliff, and I'm stuck. If I push back, do I lose everything? The kids, the house? I can't let that happen." Emma's hands wrap around her mug. "You won't lose them. Zoe and Marcus adore you, and you're a good father. But I get it. Lauren's turning this into her personal playground. It's unfair to you." Her words bring tears dangerously close to the surface. I look away, blinking fast. I tried to talk sense into her, but she's on this high like she's discovered some big secret to happiness, and I'm just an anchor. Emma's lips press together. "That's not right. You deserve a say. If she's ignoring your feelings, that's emotional abuse, Michael." A dull ache spreads in my chest. I keep telling myself it's temporary, but it's not getting better. She leans forward. "Look, I hate to say this, but you might have to consider a worst-case scenario. Protect yourself, financially and emotionally. People do nasty things when they're drunk on freedom." I swallow hard. "A divorce? I'm not there yet, Emma." She sighs, sympathy shining in her eyes. "I'm not saying do it tomorrow, but maybe plan for it in case things get worse. You said it yourself, she's out every other night lying to the kids. That's not normal." A weighted pause hangs between us. In that silence, a seed of something like anger or maybe revenge sprouts. I'm not proud of it, but it's there. A quiet notion that says, you can't let her walk all over you. You can't just sit here and cry. Maybe I should fight back somehow, I murmur, surprising even myself. Emma tilts her head. "What do you mean?" "I don't know," I admit, half ashamed. "But I'm done feeling helpless. I need a plan to ensure she doesn't wreck the kids' lives and mine." She sips her coffee, carefully watching my face. "I get it. Just be smart, okay? If you go down that road, make sure you stay calm and methodical. No rash decisions." Calm and methodical. I repeat the words in my head. Yeah, maybe that's the key. I don't want to stoop to cheating or screaming matches. But if she's forcing me into a corner, I have to secure my exit route. Or my victory. Whichever is possible. We say goodbye after lunch. Emma's final words linger. "Call if you need anything." For the rest of the afternoon, I wander aimlessly through the city, thoughts swirling like a storm. The idea of revenge, or at least cunning self-defense, haunts me. I'm not a vengeful person by nature, but heartbreak changes people. When I get home, Lauren's car is in the driveway. I find her in the kitchen, wearing a dress I've never seen before, low-cut, tight, obviously for a night out. She glances up with an uncomfortable smile. "Hey," she says, "I thought you were at work." "Took a day off," I reply, trying not to sound accusatory. "You going somewhere tonight?" She shrugs, tension around her eyes. "Jessica invited me out. I might go, or I might just stay. Not sure yet." My gaze flicks to the clock on the wall. It's 6 p.m. dinner time. Zoe and Marcus should be home soon. "Might be nice to have a family dinner," I say, hoping maybe she'll consider it. She fiddles with her hair, eyes darting away. "I'm not feeling it, Michael. I've got stuff on my mind." I nod. Of course she does. Without another word, I head upstairs, letting the conversation die. My hands ball into fists the moment I'm alone. The numbness I used to feel is morphing into cold, focused frustration. If she wants to keep ignoring the family, that's her choice. But I can't let her drag us all into chaos. Later that night, Zoe pokes her head in my bedroom to say goodnight. Her voice trembles slightly. Mom left again. Just wanted you to know. I force a weary smile. Okay, thanks, honey. Get some rest. She leaves, and I stare at the ceiling, heart pounding with 1,000 questions. Where is she? Who's she with? My mind flickers to Emma's advice. Protect yourself. Maybe I don't have a fully formed plan yet, but the wheels are definitely turning. I refuse to let this break me or my kids. At midnight, I hear the front door open. I stay in bed, not interested in a confrontation. My phone buzzes a text from Emma checking if I'm okay. I read it twice, the simple words offering more comfort than Lauren's presence has in months. With a shaky breath, I type back, I'm hanging in there, but I'm done living like this. Something's gotta give. As I close my eyes, a flicker of resolve sparks to life inside me. I don't know exactly what I'll do yet, but I sense the beginning of a shift, a desire to turn the tables. Because this heartbreak isn't just sadness anymore. It's fueling something else, something stronger than desperation. Monday morning comes too soon. I throw on a dress shirt, tie it half-heartedly, and glance at the mirror. The reflection stares back with dark circles under bloodshot eyes. Another night of restless sleep, another day of faking normalcy in front of coworkers who might already suspect something's wrong. The routine is suffocating, but I go through the motions anyway. At the office, I greet people with a practiced smile. A couple of them, Jane from HR and Bill from accounting, offer me sympathetic looks. Maybe they've heard rumors or just sense my mood. I keep my head down, tackling emails, spreadsheets, whatever tasks come my way, trying not to let my personal turmoil seep out. Around lunchtime, my phone buzzes. It's an unknown number, but I pick up anyway. Michael speaking. Hi, Michael. This is Candace from the real estate department. We met at the last networking event? Her voice is bright, polite. I just wanted to follow up about potential collaboration on that property listing. I vaguely recall meeting Candace tall with curly hair and a confident handshake. We spoke briefly about some joint projects between our companies. Oh yes, Candace. I remember. She laughs softly. I'm not bugging you at a bad time, am I? I glance at the clock, aware I've got a client meeting in 15 minutes. I'm a bit busy, but let's talk quickly. We exchange a few details about an upcoming real estate venture, and she suggests meeting for coffee to go over specifics. I tell her it sounds good. It's not a date, it's strictly work, but a small part of me wonders how Lauren would feel if she knew I was meeting another woman. Then again, she's out partying with God knows who. The thought leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. After I hang up, I check my social media feed, a habit I rarely indulge at work. But I need a mental break. Scrolling, I see a photo that nearly makes me drop my phone. Lauren, at some rooftop bar, wearing that tight dress from the other night. She's with Jessica tagged at the bottom, and there's a group of people I don't recognize. Lauren's leaning into some guy's shoulder, laughing. My chest clenches. Public flaunting. That's the only phrase that comes to mind. She's out there, living it up, not even bothering to hide it. My anger flares. She promised no public humiliation, right? Isn't that exactly what's happening now, though? Our mutual friends can see these posts. The rumor mill will spin. The kids might stumble upon it. Does she even care? I force myself to breathe, powering off my screen before I throw the phone across the room. My heart pounds. A co-worker, Evan, pokes his head in the door, concern etched on his face. Hey, you good, man? You look stressed. I plaster on a thin smile. All good. Just a tight deadline. He nods, retreats, likely not believing me. I feel shaky, adrenaline pumping. Lauren's disregard for my feelings stings more than I want to admit. I recall Emma's advice. Be smart, document, keep track. That might be the key: observing, collecting, staying calm. So I open a blank folder on my computer and label it discreetly, Notes. A place to store any evidence or information that might protect me if things spiral further. I start typing a brief entry about the photo, the bar's name, the date, just the facts. It feels odd, like I'm building a case against my own wife. but I can't deny the logic. She wanted an open marriage. She's blatantly having a good time, so maybe I need to make sure I'm not left in the dust if she decides to cut me out completely. The rest of the day passes in a blur. Work becomes an autopilot routine while my mind replays that rooftop bar picture on a loop. By evening, I'm drained and ready to see my kids. As I drive home, I steel myself for whatever chaos might greet me. When I enter the house, the living room lights are on, but the TV is off. Zoe's pacing near the couch, phone in hand. Marcus hovers in the doorway, arms crossed. Both look upset. My stomach drops. "What's going on?" I ask softly, setting my briefcase down. Zoe spins to face me, eyes fiery. "Mom posted pictures from last night. Did you see them?" I clench my jaw. "I might have seen one." Marcus sighs. "She's basically partying in every picture. People at school keep asking me what's going on with our family." A rush of protectiveness surges through me. "I'm sorry you two have to deal with this." Zoe's voice cracks. "It's humiliating, Dad. She doesn't even come home at normal times anymore. She barely talks to us. Why can't you do something?" My heart aches at the raw frustration in her tone. "I'm trying, Zoe. We're in a tough spot." Her anger morphs into sadness, tears brimming in her eyes. Marcus turns away, fists clenched, as though he can't stand to hear more. I take a careful step closer, wanting to hug them both, but they seem too wound up. This is exactly the scenario I dreaded Lauren's public flaunting backfiring on our children. "Look, guys," I say, voice trembling with guilt. "Your mom's going through something. I wish I could change it overnight, but I can't. Just know I love you both and I'm not going anywhere." Zoe scoffs, wiping her eyes. "Whatever. I'm going to do homework." She stomps upstairs, leaving me alone with Marcus. He glances at me, expression torn between loyalty and frustration. "Dad, I know you're trying," he says quietly, "but it sucks." "I know," I whisper, throat tight. "I'm sorry." He just nods, then follows Zoe upstairs. I'm left standing in the living room, heart pounding, anger and sadness swirling. I check the time, 7:15 p.m. Lauren's nowhere to be found. Probably out again. Probably with those same friends or some random guy, or maybe hooking up with Travis, the man I suspect has become her main fling. I collapse onto the couch, burying my face in my hands. There's a hollow sense of shame that I can't shield my kids from their mother's wild escapades. This is more than my heartbreak. It's their heartbreak, too. After a few minutes of wallowing, I pick up my phone and text Emma. She's out again. Kids are upset. I don't know what to do anymore. Emma replies quickly, "I'm sorry, Michael. You want to talk?" For a moment, I consider calling her to spill everything. But a small voice inside tells me to keep some distance. If I rely too heavily on Emma, it might complicate things. She's single, supportive, and we're close friends. Lauren might twist that one day, accuse me of cheating. Still, I fire back a quick, "Maybe later. Thanks for always listening." When Lauren eventually saunters in that night, I don't even greet her. I just go to my room and shut the door. She taps on it once, but I ignore her. If she wants to broadcast her party life to the world, fine. Let her deal with the blowback, including 2 furious teenagers. Meanwhile, I need to keep my composure and think ahead. Lying in bed, I consider the steps I might take. Strengthening my finances, gathering proof of her negligence, ensuring Zoe and Marcus know I'm here for them. Something bigger than heartbreak is fueling me now. It's a quiet determination to protect myself, protect my kids, and if the time comes, show Lauren that her choices have consequences. For now, I keep it under wraps, wearing a mask of calm in public, letting her think I'm just the wounded husband. Little does she know, each new social media post, each rumor, is giving me a reason to build a future without her, and maybe even a plan to tip the scales in my favor. I'm at a corner diner the next afternoon, sipping black coffee that tastes burnt, waiting for Emma to arrive. I called her first thing this morning, saying I needed to talk face-to-face. She agreed without hesitation. After a couple of minutes, Emma steps in, scanning the booths until she spots me. She's in a simple blouse and jeans, hair loose around her shoulders. Sliding into the seat across from me, she offers a soft smile that fades the moment she sees my expression. "Rough day?" she asks, not bothering with small talk. "Rough few days. I correct, leaning forward with my elbows on the table. Thanks for coming. She just nods. The waitress appears, takes Emma's order of tea, no sugar, then disappears again. All right, Emma says, folding her hands. Tell me everything. So I do. I talk about the photos on Lauren's social media, the kid's embarrassment, the countless nights she's out until the early hours. Emma listens intently, her brow furrowing in anger on my behalf. I can't keep living like this, I say, voice trembling. It's humiliating, and the kids are caught in the middle. Emma blows out a slow breath. I hear you. Have you? Talked to a lawyer yet? I'm not pushing you to divorce tomorrow, but you need to know your rights. I nod, admitting I've done some Google searches, but nothing concrete. That's what I wanted to ask you if you know anyone. A discreet attorney who could give me a basic idea of where I stand. She taps her chin. Actually, my cousin, Paige, works at a law firm. She deals with family cases sometimes. Not sure if she's the main attorney, but she might point you in the right direction. The idea of approaching a lawyer makes my heart clench, but I realize it's necessary. Do you mind putting me in touch with her? Just to talk hypotheticals, see what I can do to protect myself and the kids if it comes to that. Emma nods. Absolutely. I'll text Paige after this. She's super discreet. I swirl the coffee in my mug, glancing at Emma's calm face. I feel like I'm betraying Lauren by doing this. She shakes her head. Michael, she's the one out with new men. You're just protecting yourself. Don't confuse self-preservation with betrayal. Her words sink in. I appreciate Emma's directness. She's never sugarcoated things, and right now, I need that clarity. After we finalize the plan for Paige to call me in a few days, Emma leans back. What about the kids? Are you doing anything different with them? Spending as much time as I can, I say quietly. Zoe's furious, Marcus is hurt. I'm trying to reassure them, keep things stable at home. But Lauren's making that nearly impossible. Emma's gaze hardens. Focus on them. Show them you're there. That'll help no matter what happens next. We settle up the check, then step outside. Before we part ways, she gently rests a hand on my arm. You know I'm here for you, right? Anytime. A lump forms in my throat. Thank you. You have no idea how much it means. She squeezes my arm reassuringly. Take care of yourself, Michael. I watch her go, a mix of gratitude and guilt twisting inside me. My mind flickers with an unsettling thought. In Lauren's eyes, Emma might be an emotional threat, but I brush it aside. Right now, I need friends, not fewer. Driving back, I have a burst of resolve. Stopping at the grocery store, I pick up ingredients for a home-cooked meal. Zoe and Marcus deserve a good evening, at least. I figure some comfort food might help. As I push the cart through aisles, my phone buzzes Emma's text. Paige says she can talk tomorrow at 2 p.m. if you're free. My chest tightens, but I reply, yes, that works. Thanks. That night, I make spaghetti and meatballs. Zoe helps me chop onions. Marcus sets the table. There's a flicker of normalcy, a father and his kids cooking together, joking about random TV shows. I can almost pretend we're back in simpler times, except Lauren's absence looms over us. We're halfway through dinner when Zoe's phone pings. She glances at it, face twisting in annoyance. Mom just texted. Says she's working late. I clench my fork. All right. Guess it's just us then. Marcus sighs, pushing a meatball around. Every night, Dad. This sucks. It does, I agree softly. But let's enjoy dinner anyway. They nod, trying to move on, but the strain lingers. After we eat, Marcus heads to the living room to play a video game. Zoe helps me wash dishes. She hands me a plate to dry, chewing her lip like she's debating whether to speak. Finally, she blurts, If Mom doesn't care about us, then why stay? I freeze, plate in hand. It's not that simple. She sets down a glass, turning to me with tears brimming. You're not happy. She's doing whatever she wants. Marcus and I. We're stuck. Just do something. Her plea slices through me. I'm trying, I whisper. I promise. She studies my face, then nods like she trusts me, at least for now. Once she goes upstairs, I lean against the counter, heart thudding in my chest. Zoe's words echo. Do something. I recall Emma's advice, the potential attorney meeting. I am doing something, I tell myself. Slowly, methodically, I'm positioning the pieces, but it doesn't make the immediate pain go away. In a burst of frustration, I decide to go for a run. Normally, I'm not much of a jogger, but the tension is eating me alive. I throw on sweats and slip out the front door into the cool night air. The neighborhood is quiet, porch lights casting soft glows on well-kept lawns. My feet pound the pavement, heartbeat syncing with the rhythmic motion. Each step burns off a fraction of anger, heartbreak, fear. I realize I haven't taken care of my body in a while. Stress overshadowed everything. Maybe focusing on my physical health is part of the plan, too, giving me a sharper mind and a channel for rage. After a mile, sweat soaks my shirt, breath ragged. My legs ache, but it feels oddly good. I loop back home, feeling slightly clearer. In the driveway, I see Lauren's car. She must have returned while I was out. My stomach clenches, but I steel myself. I find her in the kitchen, rummaging for leftovers. She glances at me, taking in my sweat-drenched appearance. "Went for a run?" she asks, sounding almost polite. "Yeah," I say, chest still heaving, clearing my head. She nods awkwardly. We stand there, words unspoken. I sense she wants to say something, but she doesn't. Instead, she closes the fridge and heads upstairs without a single question about the kids or the meal we shared. Any illusions I had about bridging this gap deflate. I toss my sweaty clothes in the hamper and take a long shower, letting the hot water pound my tense shoulders. My mind drifts to tomorrow's call with Paige. My quiet networking, as Emma put it, has begun. I never thought I'd be the kind of guy who keeps tabs on his spouse or lines up a lawyer in the background, but life changes fast. Stepping out of the shower, I glimpse myself in the mirror again. There's a new hardness in my eyes. I can't let Lauren's choices define me or ruin my kids. If that means preparing for a legal battle, so be it. If it means building evidence, I'll do that too. Gathering allies is essential, Emma Page, maybe more, because if Lauren keeps pushing, I'll need every ally I can get. I'm jolted awake at 3 a.m. by an empty bed and an unsettling hush in the house. Lauren isn't beside me, no surprise there. But something feels different, like the silence itself is heavier. I lie still, heart pounding, listening for any hint she's home. The steady hum of the air conditioner is the only sound. At first, I try to roll over and go back to sleep, but my mind starts racing with dark scenarios. Maybe she's crashed her car on some late-night escapade. Maybe she's with Travis doing God knows what. My mouth goes dry. Is this the night everything falls apart? By 3:30, I can't stand it. Slipping out of bed, I check Zoe's and Marcus's rooms. Both are asleep, peaceful for once. I creep downstairs, phone in hand, uncertain whether to call Lauren or let her be. My instincts shout that something's very wrong. I end up in the kitchen, pacing the tile floor. A text arrives at 3:47 a.m. Staying with a friend. Don't wait up. That's it. A friend. No mention of when she'll return. No apology for the lateness. My grip tightens on the phone. Could friend just be a convenient label for her lover? A wave of exhaustion and rage knocks the breath out of me. This is the first time she's outright not coming home at all. My mind replays all the half-truths she's been feeding me. I think of Zoe's tears, Marcus's quiet disappointment. Enough is enough. I dial Emma's number without even thinking about the hour. It goes to voicemail twice before she picks up on the third attempt, her voice groggy. "Michael? What's going on?" "I'm sorry," I whisper, half ashamed to have woken her. "But Lauren, she's not coming home tonight. She just texted me. I'm freaking out here." Emma exhales, trying to shake off sleep. "It's okay. I'm awake now. Calm down. Tell me what happened." I fill her in, voice trembling with a mix of despair and fury. She listens quietly, then says, "That's huge, Michael. She's basically abandoned the family tonight. Are the kids all right?" "They're sleeping. I don't even know how to tell them in the morning." She's silent a beat, and I hear rustling as if she's sitting up in bed. "Michael, this might be your sign. This is the kind of move that can work in your favor if you decide to go legal. She's willfully staying out all night." I pinch my nose, trying not to let tears fall. "Yeah, I just can't believe it's come to this." Her voice is gentle. "I know, but maybe this is the wake-up call you need." We hang up soon after, and I slump at the kitchen table, staring at the phone. Lauren has chosen her path freedom at any cost. somewhere in the back of my mind, that new determination flares brighter. I have to protect myself. I have to protect our kids. Morning comes and I manage to doze off on the couch for an hour or so before Zoe shakes me awake. "Dad? Why are you sleeping down here?" she asks, worry etched in her features. I rub my eyes. Couldn't sleep. "Where's your brother?" She points to the stairs. "He's brushing his teeth." She peers around, glancing for any sign of Lauren. I see the unspoken question in her eyes, so I spare her the awkwardness. "Your mom didn't come home." Zoe's face scrunches in disbelief, then morphs into anger. "At all?" she whispers, voice cracking. I shake my head. "She texted she was staying with a friend." She crosses her arms, clearly biting back a flood of emotions. "Whatever. I'm going to school." Marcus, trailing behind, overhears. His face pales, but he just nods and follows Zoe out the door. I can't help feeling like they've both given up on Lauren or are close to it. It's only after they leave that Lauren finally appears, around 7:45 a.m. She's still wearing last night's outfit, hair disheveled, a faint smell of alcohol on her breath. She meets my gaze across the living room, guilt flashing across her face for a split second. "You're home," I say flatly, arms folded. "Kids already left." She runs a hand through her hair. I texted I wouldn't be back." "That's not the point, Lauren," I snap, anger swelling. "They woke up to find their mother gone. You know how that makes them feel?" She recoils, then tries to steady herself. "I'm sorry, I just lost track of time. I crashed at Jessica's place." I doubt that, but I don't bother calling her out. Instead, I take a deep breath, channeling the composure I promised myself. "I can't live like this," I say evenly. "You're crossing lines we agreed on, like not humiliating the family, not affecting the kids." She bristles. "I'm not humiliating anyone. This is our arrangement. You agreed. That doesn't give you license to vanish overnight without warning. You're ignoring our children, Lauren. Don't you see that?" Her expression wavers, but she hardens her stance. "I needed a break. Don't act like you're a saint in all this. You could go out too, Michael. You just choose not to." Her indifference stings, but I hold my ground. "Fine. If this is your idea of an open marriage, count me out. I'm done trying to keep this afloat by myself." She blinks, realization dawning. I don't say more. I just turn on my heel and walk upstairs. My hands are shaking so badly I have to grip the railing. In my bedroom, I grab a duffel bag and mindlessly stuff in random clothes, trying to calm the adrenaline rush. I won't leave the kids, but I need some space. Maybe I'll crash at a hotel for a night, or just drive aimlessly. Anything to keep from losing my temper and letting her see how badly she's hurt me. I call Emma again, voice hoarse. "I can't do this, Em." She rolled in this morning like nothing happened. Emma sighs. "I'm sorry, Michael. Are you safe? The kids okay?" "They left for school. I might go check into a hotel tonight just to get my head straight." She hesitates. "I get that, but be careful. You don't want to abandon the house entirely if you're considering legal routes. Talk to Paige first." My stomach twists. Right. I'll hold off on anything drastic. But I can't keep up this charade. She offers a few gentle words, and I hang up, breathing raggedly. I think about Paige, the attorney I might hire. Maybe I'll meet her soon to figure out my options. Meanwhile, 1,000 emotions swirl, heartbreak, anger, fear, but also a budding clarity that this might be the breaking point. All day, Lauren and I avoid each other. She stays in the study, making calls or scrolling her phone. I busy myself in the garage, half pretending to clean while I wrestle with swirling thoughts. Around evening, I retreat to the living room to watch a show with Marcus while Zoe studies. Lauren barely shows her face, like she'd rather vanish than deal with the tension. By nightfall, I find myself in the guest room, staring at the ceiling. Tears slip down my cheeks, silent and bitter. The final blow hits me. We're not a couple anymore. Maybe not even friends. She's a stranger in my house, playing by her own rules, ignoring the fallout. The heartbreak is crushing. Then in a haze of exhaustion, an unexpected resolve crystallizes. I'm not going to be a helpless victim. She can break my heart, but she can't break me. I'll plan, I'll prepare, and I'll protect the kids. If that means turning the tide in my favor, I'll do it. I wipe my tears, inhaling shaky breaths. My mind flashes with the outline of a strategy. Gather evidence, talk to Paige, keep track of finances, keep the kids on my side. I'm done waiting for Lauren to come to her senses. If she wants a war, fine. I won't start it, but I'll make sure I'm the one who finishes it. At midnight, I whisper to the silent room, I won't be a helpless victim. I have to play a longer game. My voice trembles with a mix of sorrow and determination. For better or worse, I've crossed a threshold. There's no going back. The morning sun slants through the blinds as I sit at the kitchen table, a stack of paperwork spread out in front of me. I can hear Zoe and Marcus upstairs, the muffled shuffle of feet as they get ready for another school day. Lauren is nowhere to be seen, likely sleeping in after another late night of freedom. The tension in this house has become an unspoken fact of life, like a low-level hum that never really fades. I sip coffee gone lukewarm while scanning the prenuptial documents I dug out from a dusty file box in the garage. I'd practically forgotten we even had a prenup. It was a mere formality back then, something we half-joked about because we didn't expect to need it. But the words on these pages feel different now, thick with potential repercussions. If things escalate, I need to know exactly where I stand. Glancing at my phone, I note the time. The kids will be headed out soon. Sure enough, Marcus tromps down first, hair still damp from the shower, backpack slung over one shoulder. He eyes the papers with a wary curiosity. "What's all that?" he asks, pouring himself a glass of juice. "Old stuff," I say, forcing a reassuring tone. "Just going through some documents to get organized." He nods, not entirely convinced. "You okay, Dad?" I muster a smile. "Yeah, I'm fine. Go on, you don't want to miss the bus." He hesitates a moment, searching my face, then heads to the front hall. Zoe comes down next, wearing headphones, dark hair pulled into a messy bun. She glances at the table, eyebrows knitting together. "Still working?" she asks, voice guarded. "Just a bit, yeah," I say, gently pushing the papers into a neat stack. "You guys have a good day?" She offers a half smile. "You too." Then she's gone, out the door with Marcus. The house is quiet again. I let out a shaky breath, tidying up the kitchen in slow, methodical movements. A few months ago, I would never have imagined rummaging through legal documents behind my wife's back. But our marriage has transformed into a facade, one where Lauren comes and goes like a stranger. The heartbreak I used to feel is morphing into a steely resolve. I need to be prepared if she pushes me or if I decide to make the first move. My phone buzzes just as I'm about to head upstairs. It's from Emma. I spoke with Paige again. She says to keep documenting everything: dates, finances, anything unusual. She's around if you want more advice. I type back a quick thanks, warmth blooming in my chest. Emma's support feels like a lifeline. I gather the prenup and my notes, then slip into my study, originally a cozy corner for reading or chatting, now a war room of sorts. A tab on my laptop remains open to a private investigator's website. I'm not entirely sure if I'll hire one, but I've been researching. Lauren's friendships with men like Travis could become critical if custody or financial disputes arise. It feels grim, like preparing for battle, yet I see no other path. Mid-morning, I hear the thud of footsteps overhead. Lauren must be awake. I brace myself for a conversation, but none comes. She remains upstairs, presumably texting or calling Jessica. By noon, I've finished reorganizing a few bank accounts, ensuring my paycheck is routed into a separate account in my name. Nothing illegal, just cautious. The shift is subtle, but it makes me feel less vulnerable. If Lauren decides to sabotage me financially, I'll at least have a buffer. When she finally appears in the hallway wearing leggings and an oversized sweatshirt, her face is unreadable. She meets my gaze for half a second before looking away. "Hey," she mutters, moving toward the kitchen. "Morning," I reply, though it's nearly lunchtime. We stand on opposite ends of the counter, each waiting for the other to make a move. I can't help noticing the faint circles under her eyes. She might be as stressed as I am, in her own way. She clears her throat. "I need some grocery money. We're out of stuff." The request stings, given the late nights and carefree attitude she's been flaunting. But I open my wallet, pull out some cash, and hand it over. If she notices my guarded expression, she doesn't acknowledge it. She just takes the money and leaves without a word. After she's gone, I realize how clinical our interactions have become, like two strangers forced to share a space. Protecting the children remains my top priority, but they're not blind to the tension. I remember Emma's advice: keep them close. Be honest without dragging them into adult drama. The idea makes me want to punch a wall, but I hold it together. That evening, I attempt a small olive branch with Zoe and Marcus, a movie night. We order pizza, sprawl on the couch, and watch an action flick we've seen 100 times but still love. For 2 hours, we laugh and poke fun at the cheesy dialogue, almost forgetting the gnawing stress that darkens our home. Lauren never appears. During a pause in the movie, Zoe looks over at me. "Dad, is everything going to be okay?" Her voice wavers, and Marcus leans in, waiting for my answer. I swallow hard. "I'm working on it," I say, gently ruffling Marcus's hair. "We're a team, right?" They exchange uncertain glances, but Zoe nods. "A team," she echoes. The word sinks in, comforting me more than I'll admit. If Lauren's determined to live her separate life, I'll do what I must to shield our kids from the fallout. My mind keeps replaying the conversation I had with Paige, the lawyer, about Lauren's neglect. "Document everything," she advised. So I have. Times, dates, proof of her late returns, social media posts. My heart aches every time I add another bullet point to that quiet log of evidence. When the movie ends, Zoe and Marcus head upstairs. I linger in the living room, phone in hand. A wave of guilt hits me. This isn't who I pictured I'd be, gathering ammunition against my own wife. But I can't ignore the reality. If she continues down this path, she could drag us all into a spiral. I glance at a half-finished spreadsheet labeled household expenses, my attempt at ensuring she doesn't bury me under random bills. A swirl of relief and sadness sweeps through me. It's come to this. Just then the front door opens. Lauren steps in, grocery bags in hand. She blinks at the sight of me as if startled I'm still up. "You're buying groceries at 9 at night now?" I ask, biting back any harsher words. She shrugs. "I got caught up with Jessica. We grabbed dinner. Then I remembered we needed stuff. Why does it matter?" I suppress a sigh. It doesn't. Rising from the couch, I move to help her, but she waves me off. "I can do it," she says, voice clipped. We're like two magnets set to repel. I watch as she unpacks milk, cereal, frozen meals. There's no conversation about how her day went or whether she's going out again. The silence is so heavy I can almost taste it. In that silence, I recall Paige's parting words on the phone last week. "Prepare for all outcomes. Don't be blindsided." That's what I'm doing: secret preparations, building my fortress one piece at a time. There's no going back to how things were, not after everything we've lost. But if Lauren tries to push me out, I'll be ready. Upstairs, in bed, I review the mental checklist of everything I accomplished today, revisited the prenup, updated bank accounts, added new notes to my running evidence file. It's a strange mixture of calm and dread, like walking a tightrope in the dark. My heart still hurts, but my mind is braced for battle. Just before I drift off, I flick through a series of potential futures in my head. Some are bleak, bitter custody fights, financial ruin. Others are strangely hopeful: Zoe and Marcus safe with me, forging a new life. The images blur as exhaustion drags me under, one final thought echoing, whatever comes next, I won't be caught unprepared. The tension in our household grows more palpable by the day, like a storm hovering on the horizon. Except I'm no longer trembling beneath the looming thunderheads. I'm awake, alert, and quietly navigating each shift in the atmosphere. Lauren seems to sense it too, though she may not fully comprehend what's changed. For the past week, I've kept an emotional distance that's almost chilling. When she comes home late or doesn't come home at all, I don't flinch. I don't question her. I record the details in my notes, then carry on as if unaffected. Oddly enough, my composure rattles her more than any argument could. She tries occasionally to pick a fight, but I respond with calm, measured tones. We're locked in a psychological stalemate. Late one night, I'm sitting on the porch steps, savoring the crisp evening air. The kids are asleep, and the house behind me is dark except for the porch light. I stare at the street, empty and quiet, letting my thoughts drift. My phone buzzes with a text from Candace, the real estate contact who's become a casual friend. She's asked if I want to grab coffee sometime next week. Strictly professional, so she says. A small part of me wonders if there's more to it. Another part can't help imagining how Lauren would react if she discovered I was meeting other women perfectly platonically, of course. The irony tastes bittersweet. Moments later, headlights sweep across the driveway and Lauren's car pulls in. She kills the engine, then steps out, eyeing me warily. Her voice is tentative, laced with curiosity. "You waiting for me?" I shake my head. "Just getting some air." My tone is neutral, giving nothing away. She hesitates as though expecting a barrage of accusations. When none come, she moves closer. I can see faint smudges of mascara under her eyes, the lingering smell of some fancy cocktail on her breath. "Michael, it's nearly midnight. Shouldn't you be inside sleeping?" I just shrug. "I'll go in eventually." A flicker of annoyance crosses her face. "You seem different." "Do I?" I ask, feigning indifference. "Maybe I'm just tired of the same old arguments." She opens her mouth to retort, but no words come out. Finally, she heads inside, confusion evident on her face. I let out a slow breath, heart pounding with the aftershocks of our brief encounter. The old me might have demanded answers, raged about her ignoring the kids, or pleaded with her to come home earlier. The new me has learned that stoicism can be more powerful than begging. In the days that follow, Lauren's attitude wavers between trying to be pleasant and bristling with frustration. She catches me on a Sunday afternoon while I'm doing laundry, something she used to handle before her adventures began. She stands by the doorway, arms crossed. "You don't have to do it all, you know," she says, voice laced with guilt or perhaps defensiveness. "It's fine," I reply coolly. "I like to keep things running smoothly." She frowns, stepping closer. "Are you mad at me, Michael?" I regard her calmly, folding a towel with careful precision. "I'm not sure my feelings matter much, Lauren. You're doing whatever you want, right?" Her posture stiffens. "That's not what I meant. I want to know what's going on with you." I take a moment, letting the tension settle. "Maybe I finally understand that I can't force you to stay if you don't want to. So I'm letting you do your thing." Her brows knit, an undercurrent of fear flickering in her eyes. She likely expected me to keep chasing after her. Instead, I've withdrawn emotionally, and that unsettles her. "Fine," she mutters, and leaves me to the laundry. Days pass. I focus on my job, the kids, and subtle improvements like continuing my workouts, carefully minding the bank accounts, and finishing the small projects around the house. Meanwhile, Lauren's relationship with Travis appears to be heating up if her absences are any clue. She rarely mentions him outright, though I overhear snippets of phone calls. Jessica's name gets tossed around too, hinting that she's always in the background, fueling Lauren's rebellious streak. One evening, I'm invited to a casual work gathering at a local bar. Normally, I'd skip it, but something in me wants to go, maybe to prove I can have a social life too. I text Zoe and Marcus to confirm they're okay if I come home a bit late. They give me the thumbs up, happy that I'm actually getting out. At the bar, the lights are dim, music pulsing softly. My colleagues greet me with warm smiles and relief. It's obvious they've sensed the personal stress looming over me at work, so they're probably glad I'm joining in for once. Midway through the evening, Candace from real estate arrives. Turns out she's friendly with someone in my office. She waves when she sees me, crossing the room to chat. We exchange pleasantries, and I notice the easy way she laughs. For a moment, I forget my messy marriage, but not entirely. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot a woman who vaguely resembles Lauren. My heart stutters until I realize it's not her. The tension returns. I can't fully relax knowing my real life is spiraling. Still, I maintain a cordial vibe with Candace, thankful she's keeping the conversation professional but pleasant. Toward the end of the night, a coworker jokes, "Michael, you should come out with us more often. You're actually fun to be around." The table laughs, and I chuckle too, though a sliver of sadness pricks my chest. Once upon a time, I had a stable home to go back to. Now I'm clinging to small victories. When I return home around 11, I find Lauren in the living room for once, dressed in casual pajamas, flipping channels on the TV. Her eyes cut to me when I walk in. "Were you out?" she asks, as though it's a foreign concept. I shrug off my jacket. "Work thing. We went for drinks." I keep my tone even, giving her no reason to pry deeper. She purses her lips. You never used to go out. People change, I reply, unruffled. I can sense her annoyance or perhaps jealousy. There's something about me refusing to pine for her that's shaking her confidence. She opens her mouth like she wants to say more, but can't find the words. Finally, she just flicks off the TV and stalks upstairs. I stand there for a moment, adrenaline thrumming. Her reaction hints at something deeper. Maybe she thought she was the only one with a social life. Now that I'm showing independence, she's off balance. Good. I'm not being cruel, I'm just not letting her control all the emotional strings anymore. Before heading to bed, I send Emma a quick text. Went to a work gathering, felt good to get out. Thanks for the pep talk. She replies almost instantly. Proud of you. Hope all's well with the kids. Her unwavering support soothes me. I tuck my phone away, acknowledging that my once innocent friendship with Emma feels different now, warmer somehow. But for now, I keep that thought carefully contained. Back in the bedroom, I slide under the covers. Lauren's side is empty. I guess she's in the guest room tonight. I can't deny the pang of hurt, but I steel myself. This is the cost of stepping away from her emotionally. If she wants to keep hooking up with Travis or flaunting her independence, I'll let her. Meanwhile, I'm moving forward slowly, methodically, turning the tables by refusing to feed her power trip. As I drift off, I recall Candace's easy laugh and Emma's encouraging text. A quiet surge of strength flows through me. Lauren no longer holds the monopoly on my emotions. If she wonders why she can't make me beg or rage anymore, maybe that's the point. Her reign over my heart is ending, one day at a time. The house is eerily quiet when I get home from work on Thursday. No sounds of the TV or footsteps in the hall. My gut twists silence in this place rarely means anything good. I set my keys on the entry table, scanning the living room for any sign of the kids. Possibly they're both at after-school activities, which leaves me to face whatever mood Lauren might be in. Sure enough, she appears from the kitchen, arms folded, eyes flashing. We need to talk, Michael. I brace myself. Okay, talk. She gestures for me to follow her into the living room. I comply, noticing how she stands near the window, backlit by the gray light outside. The posture is rigid, defensive. My heart drums, anticipating a fight. This cold shoulder thing, Lauren begins, voice trembling with a mixture of anger and something like desperation. It's got to stop. I tilt my head. What cold shoulder? She scoffs, brushing hair from her face. You know exactly what I mean. You barely speak to me anymore. You come home late without telling me. You act like you don't care what I do. She paces a small circle. Is this you punishing me for wanting an open marriage? I swallow a bitter laugh. Punishing you? You're the one staying out all night, neglecting the kids. If anything, I'd say you're punishing them and me. Her eyes narrow. Stop acting like a saint. You agreed to this arrangement. Now you're acting distant on purpose. My pulse quickens, but I keep my tone steady. I'm done begging for your attention, Lauren. If you want to be with other men, go ahead. But don't expect me to keep chasing after you. She clenches her jaw, and I see real fury simmering there. You're turning the kids against me? She accuses, pointing a finger. Zoe barely speaks to me, and Marcus looks at me like I'm a stranger. You think that's fair? I swallow. They see what's happening. They're old enough to form their own opinions. Maybe you should be asking yourself why they're angry instead of blaming me. Her face contorts, and for a moment, I wonder if she might break down in tears. Instead, she hurls a sharper accusation. You're playing the victim while you quietly sabotage me. I know you've been talking to attorneys, reorganizing bank accounts, all that secret stuff. Are you trying to leave me with nothing? A cold sweat breaks out under my shirt collar. So she's caught wind of my preparations. Whether from snooping on my laptop or overhearing phone calls, I'm not sure. Still, I stand my ground. I'm protecting myself, I say bluntly. And the kids, because you've made it clear your priorities have changed. Her nostrils flare. I can't believe how manipulative you're being. That's the moment something in me snaps. I exhale slowly, reining in my anger. Manipulative? Let's talk about that, Lauren. She looks wary, as though she senses I'm about to lay out some ugly truths. I reach into my pocket and pull out a folded sheet of paper, my typed list of her recent absences, along with times the kids needed her and she wasn't around. These are dates and details, I say quietly, handing her the paper. Evidence of how many nights you've been gone, how many events you've missed for Zoe and Marcus, how many bills went unpaid because you spent money on other things. She skims the list, color draining from her face. You've been keeping track? I have, I admit. And this is just a summary. I also have screenshots of certain social media posts, text timestamps, receipts. You call it manipulation. I call it documentation. She drops the paper as though it burns. Her cheeks redden with fury, and I suspect panic. How dare you? She hisses, voice quavering. I fix her with a calm stare, heart pounding. You dare me, Lauren, every time you decide our marriage vows don't matter, every time you let our kids down so you can be out till dawn. I warned you before. If you push me too far, I'll defend myself. She looks like she might throw something. Instead, she storms over to the couch, pacing again. So what? You're going to run to a judge with your little notes and ruin my life? I keep my voice low, unwavering. If you force a divorce, I'll make sure the kids stay with me, and the finances are handled fairly. I'm not out to ruin you. But I won't be left with nothing while you gallivant around like you don't have a family. Her eyes gleam with tears, rage twisting her features. For a second, I think she might apologize or at least try to reason with me, but she sneers. You're more cruel than I gave you credit for, Michael. That stings, but I refuse to show it. Cruel is watching your children suffer while you chase every thrill in sight. She flinches. In the silence that follows, I can practically hear her heartbeat pounding as loudly as mine. Finally, her voice drops, quiet, but seething. Why are you doing this? I exhale a shaky breath, letting the truth settle. Because you left me no choice. You wanted an open marriage, but I never wanted this. You wanted freedom, but you're ignoring our kids. Now you're upset I'm protecting what's left of my family? That's on you. She stares, tears glistening in her eyes. I almost feel sorry, but then I remember Zoe's heartbreak, Marcus's anxious silences. My resolve hardens. Her tone softens, but there's still an edge. Look, can't we just talk it out? Set new rules that feel fair to both of us? A cynical laugh escapes me. Rules? You broke the old rules within days, Lauren. How do I trust any new ones? She bites her lip, blinking back tears. For a split second, she appears genuinely wounded. But I recall the countless nights she left our kids alone, the blatant posts online, the humiliating gossip. She's reaping what she sowed. Well, she whispers, if you don't back down, I'll push for my own terms. Don't think you can bully me. My eyes narrow. I'm not bullying you. I'm giving you a reality check. Keep pushing, and I'll file for divorce on my terms. You know how that ends for you, given everything I've documented. A choked sound escapes her half-gasp, half-sob. She looks away, fists clenching. For a moment, the air crackles with unresolved fury. Then she rushes past me, out of the living room, footsteps pounding up the stairs. A door slams ours or the guest room's, I'm not sure. I stand there in the stillness, pulse hammering. The confrontation I dreaded has come and gone, leaving a bitter aftertaste. Yet a strange calm seeps in. I've shown my cards, made my threat clear. Now the question is, how will she respond? Somehow I don't feel triumphant. Exhaustion weighs on me, and guilt tugs at the corners of my mind. I never wanted to turn our marriage into a chess match, but she cornered me with her betrayal and indifference. If she thinks I'll back down, she's mistaken. But there's no real joy in winning a war against someone you once loved. Eventually, I head to the kitchen, hands shaking. I pour a glass of water, gulping it down. My reflection in the window looks haunted, eyes tired from battles fought behind closed doors. My phone buzzes with a text Emma asking if everything's okay. I consider ignoring it, but then I recall how her voice grounded me in the past. I text back, "We had it out tonight." She knows I've been documenting everything. She's furious, threatened me right back. After a few moments, her reply comes, "I'm sorry, Michael. Stay strong. I'm here if you need to talk." Clutching the phone, I whisper to the empty kitchen, "Stay strong." The words feel hollow yet necessary. Step by step, I've protected myself, but the cost is a swirling pit of heartache. I force myself to breathe, trying to steady my nerves. War has its casualties, my innocence, my trust, maybe the woman I once believed Lauren to be. but I won't let her drown me or the kids in the wreckage. The weekend arrives, bringing a fragile lull in the tension. Zoe has a friend's birthday party, Marcus has a sports practice, and I volunteer to drive them around, anything to keep the routine stable. Lauren remains mostly hidden in the house, appearing briefly to mumble good morning or search the fridge. Every once in a while I catch a glimmer of her eyes on me, as if gauging whether I'm still on the offensive. Saturday evening, once the kids are tucked away in their rooms, I'm in the living room rereading legal advice Paige emailed me. Bullet points on assets, documentation strategies, safeguarding the children. I'm halfway through when Lauren ventures downstairs wearing sweatpants and a worn t-shirt. It's the most casual I've seen her in months. No makeup, hair undone, a stark contrast to the glamorous persona she's been flaunting. She hovers near the couch, hesitant. Can we talk? I set my phone aside, forcing neutrality into my posture. Sure. She sits at the far end, knees drawn up. There's an uncharacteristic vulnerability in her eyes, but I remain cautious. After the blow-up we had, anything could happen. Her voice comes out soft. I messed up, didn't I? I inhale slowly. Which part do you mean? She fiddles with the seam of her sweatpants. All of it. The staying out, ignoring the kids, flaunting everything. Her gaze drifts toward the window. I got caught up, you know. I felt like life was suffocating me, and I wanted I don't even know. A wave of conflicting emotions hits me: anger, pity, exhaustion. You made your choices, I say quietly, and you hurt a lot of people along the way. She nods, tears gathering. I know. When you showed me that list, the absences, the bills, the times I wasn't there for Zoe and Marcus, it was a slap in the face. I didn't realize how far gone I was. A part of me wants to comfort her, but I hold back. Too much has happened. Why the change of heart now? I ask, voice subdued. Because I threatened divorce? Because you're scared of losing everything? She flinches. Maybe, but also because I feel terrible about hurting the kids. And you. Her gaze flicks to mine, then away. I know I was selfish. I let her words hang. This could be another manipulation tactic, her attempt to sweet-talk me now that she sees I won't roll over. The old patterns flash through my mind, her broken promises, her quick apologies that never lasted. It's not enough to say sorry, I murmur, tone measured. What changes are you willing to make? She draws a shaky breath. I can cut back on going out. Try to reconnect with the kids, with you. She hesitates. We could still keep the marriage open, just with clearer rules. My frustration surges. Lauren, do you not understand? I never wanted an open marriage. You pushed for it. If you plan to keep it going, then nothing's really changed. She braces her arms on her knees, tears sliding down her cheeks. I'm lost. I don't want to lose you completely, but I can't pretend I'm satisfied with how things were. I exhale, heavy. Honestly, I don't know if there's anything left to salvage. The words taste bitter, but they feel real. I've seen what this has done to the kids, and to me. Her shoulders tremble. For a moment, I see raw regret etched on her face. She reaches out, daring to place a hand on my arm. Let me prove it, she whispers. Let me show you I'm serious about changing. I glance at her hand, then her tear-streaked face. Could this be genuine? Or is it just another ploy because I hold the advantage now? My heart pounds with indecision. The part of me that once adored Lauren wants to believe she can turn things around. The part of me that's been wounded clings to caution. I pull away gently, not unkind but firm. I need to think, I manage, and you need to show the kids you're still their mother. Don't expect me to sweep this under the rug. She nods, swallowing. Okay, she whispers, voice shaking. I understand. After that exchange, she heads upstairs, leaving me on the couch, mind spinning. Nothing about her apology feels certain. She might be sincere, or she might just fear losing a comfortable life. I look down at my phone, no new messages. I think of Emma, her calm reassurance, the way she never tried to manipulate me. A pang of longing surfaces, quickly followed by guilt. I push the thought away. The next day, I see Lauren making small attempts. She offers to cook breakfast, invites Zoe to go shopping, asks Marcus about his basketball practice. They're guarded, responding politely but with a hint of skepticism. I observe from a distance, uncertain whether I should be relieved or suspicious. After all, a few days of good behavior can't erase the months of turmoil. That night, I'm in my study when Emma calls, her voice warm with concern. "How are you holding up?" I hesitate, then spill the highlights of Lauren's sudden contrition. Emma listens quietly, occasionally making sympathetic sounds. "She might be genuine," she says carefully, "but don't let your guard down too fast." I nod, my gaze fixed on the pile of documents strewn across my desk. "Yeah, I'm not about to tear up my notes and delete the evidence. I just don't know what to do next." Her voice is gentle. "Focus on the kids. If Lauren's serious, she'll prove it by being consistent. You can decide from there." Her words ground me. After we hang up, I linger in the study, heart thumping with a mix of relief that Lauren's no longer combative and dread that I might fall for a temporary truce. My eyes flick to the notes I've gathered. They represent months of heartbreak, nights of anger, unwavering determination to protect Zoe and Marcus. If Lauren expects everything to revert to normal overnight, she's in for a disappointment. Yet an odd shift has taken place, the power dynamic. For so long, I was the one in pain, chasing her, hoping she'd snap out of her midlife rebellion. Now it's as if the roles are reversed, she's tearfully asking me not to give up. There's no satisfaction in it, though. Just a numb awareness that I'm not the desperate husband anymore. Before bed, I glance into Marcus's room. He's asleep with headphones on, a gaming controller still in his hand. Smiling softly, I remove the controller, drape a blanket over him. In Zoe's room, the door is ajar. She's asleep too, textbook open on her desk. I gently close the book, set it aside, and flick off the overhead light. My chest tightens with fierce protectiveness. They're my anchor, the reason I won't let Lauren's chaos destroy our family. Slipping into the master bedroom, I find it empty. Lauren's probably in the guest room again. My mind replays her tearful apology, the question lingering. Is this the start of genuine change, or just another act in her game? As I settle under the sheets, I sense a subtle shift in the air like a calm after the storm, but with thunder rumbling in the distance. We've come to a crossroads. Either Lauren truly changes and we somehow rebuild from the wreckage, or she reverts to form, and I proceed with my plan. In either case, I hold the upper hand now. Zoe's 18th birthday dawns on a bright Saturday morning, sunbeams slipping through the kitchen windows. The smell of chocolate cake I baked last night still lingers in the air. I'm finishing up a quick breakfast, eggs sizzling in the pan when she comes downstairs, hair tousled, wearing an old hoodie. "Morning, birthday girl," I say, trying for a cheerful tone. My heart squeezes, knowing what the day might bring. She yawns and gives me a small grin. "Morning, Dad. Did you really make that cake by yourself?" "Sure did. Might need a fire extinguisher when we cut into it, but yeah." Her laugh rings out, genuine, and for a second the heaviness in my chest eases. Marcus appears, still rubbing sleep from his eyes, offering his sister a teasing, "You're an adult now, so don't boss me around." Zoe nudges him. Their banter reminds me of simpler times, before Lauren's excitement upended everything. I glance at the clock. My pulse picks up, aware that I'm waiting for the right moment. In my study sits a folder containing divorce papers, meticulously prepared. I've been steeling myself for weeks to serve them to Lauren, but I dreaded overshadowing Zoe's birthday. Yet I can't keep stalling. Zoe turning 18 was always my marker. I no longer fear losing custody of her. Marcus is younger, but if it comes to a fight, I have plenty of evidence in my favor. Lauren drifts into the kitchen late, hair styled and makeup on, like she's heading somewhere fancier than a birthday breakfast. She offers Zoe a stiff, happy birthday, sets her phone on the counter. There's tension in the air. Zoe thanks her politely, though her expression remains guarded. I keep my voice steady. "I thought we could have a low-key celebration tonight, just the four of us." Lauren hesitates, glancing at Zoe. "Sure, that'd be nice." Marcus brightens, unaware of the storm clouds gathering in my mind. "We can watch a movie after cake." "Sounds good," Zoe murmurs, forcing a smile. She's trying, but Lauren's presence seems to strain her. Breakfast ends quietly, and Zoe heads out with Marcus to run errands. Lauren starts tidying the kitchen, and I seize the opening. My heart thuds as I fetch the folder from my study and return to the living room, summoning the remnants of my courage. She sets down a dish towel when she sees the papers in my hand. "What's that?" she asks, eyes flicking from the folder to my face. I step closer, aware of the sunlight streaming over our worn sofa. "Divorce papers," I say gently. My voice trembles, but I don't back down. I'm filing, Lauren." Her mouth parts, cheeks flushing. "Are you serious? Today, on Zoe's birthday?" My chest tightens. "I didn't pick the date lightly, but she's 18 now. I won't risk you trying to take her or threaten me with custody. We can break this cleanly." She stares at the folder, tears welling in her eyes. "You're really doing this?" Swallowing the lump in my throat, I nod. "I gave you so many chances to change. I pause, voice wavering. "You broke our marriage and disregarded our children. I can't let it keep festering." She presses trembling fingers to her lips, eyes brimming with shock and maybe regret. "We could talk about it again. Maybe therapy?" A surge of conflicting emotions hits me. I recall the nights I begged her to come home, the evidence of her neglect, the heartbreak our kids endured. "I'm done pleading," I say, quieter now. "And I have proof you haven't been upholding your responsibilities as a mother or spouse." Her tears spill over. She reaches out to grip my arm, voice breaking. "Michael, please don't do this. Let's try one more time." It hurts more than I'd expected. Watching her crumble, tears sliding down her cheeks, makes me remember the early years of our marriage when we were in love and believed we'd face anything together. But that was a different Lauren. This one took advantage of an open arrangement, left me with no trust to salvage. "This is final," I manage, gently pulling my arm free. "I've already discussed it with my lawyer. If you want to contest it, then fine. But I think we both know how that'll end." She looks at me like she doesn't recognize who I've become. "You sound so cold." "I'm protecting myself and the kids," I say simply, stepping back and placing the papers on the coffee table. "You can sign them or fight them. Either way, it's time." Then I head upstairs, leaving her alone. My hands shake, my stomach churns, but a weight lifts from my shoulders, a sense that I'm finally acting instead of reacting. If Lauren wants to beg, bargain, or lash out, I'll handle it, but I refuse to be her victim anymore. That evening, we still gather for Zoe's birthday as planned. The mood is tense, but polite. Lauren tries to appear normal, giving Zoe a slightly over-the-top present, a designer purse Zoe never asked for. Zoe thanks her, but there's an awkwardness in the air, like everyone can sense the cracks. Marcus glances between me and Lauren, confused by the undercurrent he can't fully grasp. After dinner, we sing an off-key happy birthday. Zoe slices the cake, which miraculously turns out edible. I catch Lauren's eyes in the flickering candlelight. She looks hollow, as though something precious has slipped through her fingers. My chest aches, but I can't relent. We've come too far. When bedtime rolls around, Zoe hugs me tightly. "Thanks for the cake, Dad. And for everything," she whispers. I feel her gratitude for standing by her side in the chaos of the past months. She throws Lauren a quick goodnight but doesn't linger. Marcus follows, offering me a small nod before heading upstairs. Lauren and I are left in the living room, the ghostly glow of leftover candles still on the table. My gaze drifts to the divorce papers, now moved aside but present. She wipes her eyes, voice hoarse. "Happy birthday to Zoe, indeed. You sure know how to pick your moments." I let out a long exhale. "I'm sorry about the timing, but there was never going to be an easy day for this." She closes her eyes, tears threatening again. "So what? That's it? All those years gone in a flash?" The pain in her voice is almost too much. But I remind myself of the nights I cried alone, the mornings our kids wondered where their mother was. "You left me no choice," I repeat softly, the words tasting like regret. Then I climb the stairs to my bedroom, unsure if I'm relieved or devastated by finally filing for divorce. Behind me, I hear her muffled sob, a quiet sound that once might have broken me. Now, it only deepens my resolve to see this through. I'm sipping coffee in the kitchen when Zoe emerges the next day, eyes bloodshot. She grabs her own mug, pouring coffee like she's older than her 18 years. An uneasy silence settles around us until she finally speaks. "So you're divorcing Mom," she says, voice flat. I swallow. "Yeah, I served the papers yesterday. I'm sorry you had to see that on your birthday." She sets the mug down, shoulders tense. "Did you do it because of me and Marcus, or just everything?" I consider her question. "A bit of both," I reply honestly. "Your mom and I have been drifting apart for a long time. But the main reason is how she's treated you guys. I can't forgive her neglect." Zoe gives a bitter laugh. I mean, I'm not exactly sad to see her face consequences. Is that horrible? My heart aches. No, it's not horrible. You're hurt. It's okay to feel that way. She runs a hand through her hair, eyes shining with anger or tears, maybe both. I used to look up to her. Now she's a stranger who bails on us. If you didn't file for divorce, I was going to move out the second I could. I hadn't realized how deeply her resentment ran. I reach across the table, gently squeezing her hand. "You don't have to do that. Marcus still needs you around. We'll figure this out together." She nods, taking a trembling breath. "Yeah, but I'm done letting her guilt me." Lauren appears at the threshold, eyes scanning us warily. She offers a weak morning, clutching her phone. Zoe pulls her hand away from mine, turning to fix Lauren with a piercing gaze. "Can we talk?" Lauren asks Zoe, voice subdued. Zoe shrugs, crossing her arms. "Talk then." Lauren glances at me, uncertain. I gesture for them to go ahead. She steps closer to Zoe, who stiffens. "I know you're angry," Lauren begins, "and you have every right to be. But I still love you, Zoe. I want to fix things." Zoe's face is a mask of resentment. "A little late for that, Mom." Lauren flinches. "Maybe, but I'm not giving up on being your mother. I made mistakes, huge ones, but I'm trying to change." Zoe shoots back. "You changed all right. You left us for your new life. That's the real change." Lauren's lip trembles. "Honey, please." Zoe shakes her head. "Don't honey me. You have no idea how messed up this has been for me and Marcus. Dad was there for us. You weren't." Lauren slumps, tears threatening. She looks at me as if seeking backup, but I remain neutral, letting Zoe speak her mind. Finally, Zoe brushes past her and marches upstairs, leaving Lauren teetering on the edge of tears. I take a slow breath. Give her time. She's been through a lot. Lauren turns to me, voice cracking. "I know. I just wish I could fix it overnight." "Well," I say evenly, "that's not how it works. We both know that." She rubs her forehead, frustration etched in every line of her face. Before she can say more, Marcus traipses in, hair askew from sleep. He sees Lauren's tear-streaked cheeks and my tense stance and halts. "What's going on?" I force a calm tone. "Your mom and I were just talking." Marcus looks from Lauren to me, frowning. "Is this about the divorce?" Lauren opens her mouth, but no words emerge. I nod, stepping forward. "Yeah, buddy, your sister knows too. I served papers yesterday." He shifts uncomfortably. "So it's official?" I nod again, feeling a pang of guilt. "I'm sorry, Marcus. We tried to make this work, but it's not going to happen." He rubs his arm, eyes flicking from me to Lauren. "Well, I guess it was coming. You guys have been at war for a while now." His voice is quiet, resigned in a way that stabs at my heart. "So who will I live with?" Lauren's eyes widen, panic surfacing. She quickly blurts, "We haven't decided yet, sweetie. We'll figure out something that works." Marcus gives her a guarded look, then turns to me, seeking confirmation. I keep my voice level. "We'll do what's best for you. That's all I can promise." He nods slowly, then mumbles an excuse to leave the kitchen. Once he's gone, Lauren spins to me, voice raw. "You really think you're going to get full custody?" I lift a brow. "We'll see what the judge says. But given everything you've done or haven't done, do you think it's likely they'd side with you?" She grimaces, tears brimming anew. "This is unfair." "No, Lauren," I say softly, anger simmering beneath my calm. "What's unfair is how our kids had to fend for themselves while you chased your own thrills. They're just waking up to the fact that their mother checked out. Now you're reaping the consequences." She stares at me, silent and pale. I brace myself for another wave of tears or shouting, but instead she just walks away, shoulders slumped. A heavy quiet falls over the house, punctuated only by the faint hum of the refrigerator. Later that day, Zoe drives herself and Marcus to a friend's place, leaving me and Lauren alone again. I find her in the living room, scrolling her phone anxiously. She looks up, eyes red. "The kids hate me." I sigh. "They don't hate you. They're hurt." She shakes her head. "Close enough. Marcus can barely look at me, and Zoe's furious, yes," I interject. "You can't fix that overnight." She sets the phone aside, voice trembling. "You said you'd mention how I'm trying to do better. Can't you ease them a little?" Something about her request wanting me to be her advocate grates on me. "It's not my place to make them trust you again. That's on you." "But the divorce is happening," I finish firmly. "It won't vanish because you decided to try harder. You have to prove consistent effort over time, not a sudden scramble when you realize the kids might side with me." Lauren's lip wobbles. She inhales unsteadily. "Fine. Then I'll keep trying, whether or not it changes your mind." She lifts her chin, a flicker of determination in her gaze, though tears still cling to her lashes. I say nothing, letting her see I won't be swayed. Inside, my emotions churn. Part of me almost pities her, watching this once confident woman unravel under the weight of her mistakes. But pity won't erase the damage done. When the kids return that evening, Lauren attempts small talk, offering to make dinner. Zoe brushes her off, opting for takeout with a friend. Marcus mumbles something about leftover pizza, then retreats upstairs. It's a painful reminder that words alone won't mend the bridges she burned. I pour myself a cup of tea, ignoring the sting in my chest. Filing for divorce has unleashed chaos, but I expected it. At least Zoe and Marcus know exactly where I stand. I hope, deep in my heart, that they'll weather this storm intact and that Lauren might, for once, put them before her own desires. But if she doesn't, I'll be there to pick up the pieces. Late that night, I glance at the framed family photo on the mantel taken years ago, back when the kids were small and Lauren and I were blissfully unaware of the heartbreak to come. My reflection glints in the glass, eyes shadowed with fatigue. I whisper a promise. I won't let them down. A week later, the legal wrangling begins in earnest. My attorney, Paige, schedules a preliminary session to outline the terms of divorce. I arrive at her office, a tidy suite on the 4th floor of a modest downtown building, feeling my stomach churn with anxious energy. Lauren is already there, seated in the waiting area, scanning her phone. She looks up as I enter, face taut. We exchange curt nods, speaking no words. Paige emerges, a slender woman with sharp eyes. She leads us to a conference room where a second lawyer, Lauren's legal counsel, presumably joins us. The table is set with neat stacks of papers, water glasses, and a tense, unspoken promise that we'll do our best to keep things civil. Paige opens the meeting, voice calm. We're here to discuss preliminary arrangements regarding asset division, custody, and any immediate disputes. Lauren's attorney, a short man with an overly polite smile, nods. Exactly. My client is prepared to negotiate fairly. I clamp down on my cynicism and try to keep my posture relaxed, though inside my heart pounds. Paige lays out the broad strokes. I want the house, primary custody of Marcus, and a fair share of joint assets. Zoe is already an adult, so she's technically out of the custody battle, but we address her well-being too. Lauren bristles when Paige mentions I plan to remain in the house. Wait, she interrupts. You're just taking it? I glance at her. You've been absent so much, I'm the one keeping it up and taking care of the kids. It makes sense. She glares, but her attorney gently pats her shoulder, murmuring something about holding off objections until we hear the full terms. My jaw clenches. The last thing I want is a meltdown, but I refuse to let her sabotage what's best for Marcus. The conversation drags on, dipping into finances. Paige coolly references the documented times Lauren missed bill payments or spent recklessly on nights out. A flush creeps up Lauren's neck, and she fires back that she's a working adult with a right to her own enjoyment. Paige counters with the evidence that enjoyment took priority over household responsibilities. Lauren's attorney attempts to salvage ground, arguing that she contributed to the marriage for many years and deserves half the assets, possibly spousal support. Paige calmly points out that Lauren's recent negligence might work against any spousal support claim. The tension thickens, everyone's words clipped and formal. At one point, Lauren's lawyer hints that I can't prove infidelity, since we technically had an open marriage. My face burns, but Paige fields it expertly, stating that while the arrangement existed, Lauren's overall neglect of the children and my unwillingness to continue the open arrangement speaks volumes about the breakdown of the marriage. After nearly 2 hours, we adjourn with a handful of action items: updated valuations on the house, child custody proposals, and a request that both parties refrain from dramatic changes, like selling assets, until a judge reviews. Lauren storms out without a word, her attorney chasing behind. Paige sighs, sorting the papers. Messy, but not unusual. I rub my forehead. Thanks for handling that. She's digging in her heels. She might relent once she realizes how strong your documentation is, Paige says, handing me a folder. Continue logging any major incidents. The court date is in a few weeks. I nod, shoulders tight. This is the first real taste of how draining a legal battle can be. As I drive home, my mind replays Lauren's resentful stare, the tension in her voice. My heart sinks, knowing we've officially entered a war of words, evidence, and blame. I question if I have the stamina for it, but then I remember Zoe's scorn, Marcus's confusion, all the nights I felt betrayed and alone. I do this for them. Back at the house, I find Marcus shooting hoops in the driveway, sweat dampening his shirt. He stops when he sees me. "How did it go?" he asks, bouncing the ball anxiously. I force a small smile. "It's a start. We're trying to figure out the details, but it might take time." He nods, gaze drifting to the car pulling in behind me. Lauren steps out, eyes flicking to him. He shifts uncomfortably. She approaches, but he distances himself, dribbling the basketball a few yards away. Her face falls and she heads inside, shoulders slumped. My phone buzzes Emma's name, lighting up the screen. I slip into the garage for privacy. "Hey," I answer softly, hearing warmth in her tone. "How'd it go?" she asks. "Rough," I admit, giving her a quick rundown. Lauren's lawyer pushed for spousal support and half the assets, even mentioned the open marriage angle. Emma sighs. "I'm sorry, Michael. But you were ready for that, right?" "Yeah, Paige handled it." I pause, lowering my voice. "Still drains me, you know?" She's quiet a moment. "I can imagine. You're doing the right thing, though. Keep going. The kids need stability." Her faith in me feels like a balm. "Thanks. I just hope the judge sees it our way." We hang up and I rejoin Marcus outside. He offers me the ball. "Want to shoot a few?" Grateful for the distraction, I nod. We trade lazy arcs of the basketball, father and son passing the time. Each thump against the pavement steadies my nerves. In that moment, I realize I'm forging a new normal being the constant parent, the stable presence in their lives. Inside, I catch a glimpse of Lauren through the window, perched on the couch, phone in hand. She looks hollow, shoulders hunched, as though the divorce talk sank her spirit. Part of me pities her, but part of me is resolved. She created this nightmare, and now we all pay the price. Over the next few days, the official hearing date for the divorce is set. The tension at home intensifies. Zoe edges closer to adulthood, talks of college applications swirl. Marcus grapples with the awkwardness of living under the same roof as warring parents. Lauren attempts small acts of contrition, cooking dinners, tidying the house, but the kids remain wary. One evening, I find Zoe in her room, reading. She glances up. "Everything okay?" "Just checking on you," I say gently, "and wanted to see if you had any questions about the whole court thing." Her expression hardens. "Is there a chance they'll force me or Marcus to do something we don't want?" I shake my head. "You're 18, so you have a say in your own life. Marcus is younger, but the judge usually considers the child's preference, especially when there's evidence of neglect from the other parent." She exhales, relief warring with guilt in her eyes. I don't trust Mom not to twist things." I rest a hand on her shoulder. "We have a strong case. You and your brother have voices, too. Don't worry." She nods, murmuring thanks. When I leave her room, I spot Lauren at the end of the hall, watching. Her face flickers with sorrow. I hold her gaze, expression neutral, then continue downstairs. The distance between us grows with each passing day, each step toward finalizing the divorce. In quiet moments, I reflect on how once we were partners, planning our future, raising kids with hope. Now I can't look at her without remembering how she betrayed those dreams. The legal battle is draining, but every time I see Zoe's clenched jaw or Marcus's wary eyes, I remember why I fight. The final court date arrives faster than I expected. Lauren and I have spent weeks locked in negotiations, drafting proposals, responding to each other's attorneys. The judge insisted on a settlement conference before trial. Eventually, we hammered out an agreement that recognized my role as primary caregiver, but still allowed Lauren visitation, an arrangement she grudgingly accepted. We gather in a small, sterile hearing room at the county courthouse. The walls are off-white, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Paige stands at my side, calm yet vigilant. Lauren sits with her attorney across from us. A judge presides, glancing through our settlement documents. It feels surreal. In a few short minutes, 2 decades of marriage will be legally undone. My chest tightens with a swirl of regret, anger, and something like relief. The judge drones through the terms: division of property house to remain with me, finances split per the agreement, Lauren responsible for a portion of any outstanding debts from her personal spending. Child custody Marcus primarily with me, Lauren given structured visitation. Zoe is recognized as an adult, making her own choices. Lauren shifts uncomfortably, face pale. Her eyes meet mine once, and there's a flicker of despair. Maybe she's replaying the day we said our vows, remembering how distant this outcome seemed back then. The judge clears his throat. Both parties have reached a final settlement, correct? We nod. Lauren's attorney confirms with a subdued, "Yes, Your Honor." Paige does the same for me. The judge stamps a few papers, then slides them across. All that remains is your signatures, confirming you've agreed to these terms voluntarily. My hand trembles as I take the pen Paige hands me. Lauren picks up her own pen, eyes glistening. Slowly, we both sign. With each stroke, a piece of our shared history unravels, replaced by legal finality. Time seems to slow, each second puncturing my heart. When it's done, the judge pronounces our marriage dissolved, and that's it. Lauren chokes back a sob, pressing a tissue to her mouth. I feel a numbness creeping in. It's over. No more nights wondering if she'll come home, no more bracing for betrayal. I'm free, but the price has been steep. We exit into the hallway, attorneys trailing behind. Paige places a supportive hand on my shoulder. "You did well," she says. "If you need anything else, call me." I thank her, my throat tight, then watch her leave. Lauren stands a few feet away, hugging herself. Her attorney steps aside to speak with a clerk, giving us a moment of awkward privacy. My ex-wife, that phrase, lances my chest. She looks up, tear-streaked face full of sorrow. "Michael," she whispers, voice cracking. I wait, not trusting myself to speak without emotion breaking through. She fiddles with a tissue, tears dripping off her chin. "I know sorry means nothing now, but I really am sorry. I never meant for it to end like this." A wave of memories floods my mind. Our wedding day, the births of Zoe and Marcus, lazy Sundays in bed, the promise that we'd be each other's rock. My voice wavers. "You made your choices, Lauren. This was the result." She stifles a sob, nodding. "I wish I could change it." "Me too," I say softly. A thick pause stretches. Part of me wants to comfort her, but that part is overshadowed by months of heartbreak. "Take care," I finally murmur, turning to go. She calls after me, voice trembling. "What about the kids? Can we try to co-parent without hatred?" My chest aches. "We can try," I concede. "But you need to show them you can be consistent. Words alone won't cut it." She nods, tears still falling, and then I walk away, each step weighted with finality. Out on the courthouse steps, I exhale a shaky breath. The sky is overcast, the air thick with impending rain. It seems fitting, the gloom matching the swirl of emptiness and relief inside me. At home, the kids already know what happened. I texted Zoe and Marcus that it's official. Zoe sits at the kitchen table with a half-eaten sandwich, scanning her phone. She looks up as I enter, reading my face. "Is it done?" she asks softly. I nod. "Yeah, it's done." She sets her phone down, worry etched on her features. "You okay, Dad?" I manage a small shrug. "I will be. It's weird, but we'll move forward. Marcus appears in the doorway, fidgeting. So does that mean, like, Mom's not living here anymore? I rub the back of my neck. She might stay a bit until she finds her own place, but yeah, she won't be my wife anymore. Legally, we're done. He chews his lip. Okay. Zoe stands, crossing to me, wrapping her arms around my waist. I'm sorry it had to be like this, she murmurs. I hold her close, a heavy sense of finality washing over me. That evening after the kids head to their rooms, I wander into the living room. The house is too quiet, a phantom ache echoing through the walls. The corner where family photos once hung feels barren. I took them down when everything spiraled. Lauren hasn't come back tonight, which is probably for the best. I collapse onto the couch, exhaustion sinking into my bones. My phone lies on the cushion beside me, Emma's number just a tap away. A part of me longs for her voice, but I hesitate. My emotions are raw, and I need a moment to process alone. The swirling emptiness is unlike anything I've felt. A sense of what now pulses through me. I recall telling Lauren we'd see how co-parenting goes. The path ahead looks uncertain, but at least it's not a continuation of that twisted open marriage arrangement. I have the kids, the house, and a chance to reclaim my peace. Staring at the blank TV screen, I let the tears come, a quiet release of mourning for the family we once were. Betrayal or not, we built a life together, and now it's in ashes. Gradually, my sobs subside, replaced by a trembling calm. I whisper into the silent room, I'm free, testing the word's weight. Relief mingles with sadness. I know there's healing to be done for me and the kids. But the shackles of Lauren's betrayal have fallen away. It's over, an era ended in a courthouse corridor. Tomorrow I'll wake up and keep living. Keep caring for Zoe and Marcus. Keep forging a new beginning. Maybe I'll lean on Emma's friendship more. Maybe I'll rediscover the parts of me that got lost in heartbreak. For now, I close my eyes, letting the finality settle in. The marriage is over, yet life moves on. I wake up to the quiet hum of the house, no tension in the air, no dread about stumbling into Lauren in the hallway. She moved most of her belongings out last week, which feels surreal. After all this time of living as warring roommates, it's just me, Zoe, and Marcus under this roof. Legally and emotionally, I'm finally free. Today I focus on reorganizing. I've started with simple changes, switching out photos, rearranging furniture, discarding old reminders. There's a certain catharsis in vacuuming corners that probably hadn't seen daylight for years. When Zoe appears in the doorway wearing sweats and a messy bun, I pause mid-sweep. "Morning, Dad," she says, voice still groggy. "Morning, Zoe," I reply, smiling. "Sorry for the noise." She shrugs, stepping over boxes of Lauren's leftover odds and ends. "It's okay. Actually, it's kind of nice not having Mom around to complain." Then she catches herself, frowning. That sounded harsh. I turn off the vacuum. "I get it," I say softly. "Everyone's adjusting." She nods, glancing at the changes in the living room, family portraits replaced with simple artwork or shelves. "It feels better," she remarks quietly. "Less tense." Her words warm me. The old us might have clung to every memory, but these new changes breathe life into the house. "Any big plans today?" I ask. She shrugs. "Might meet a friend for coffee, then do some reading. Marcus is out practicing with the basketball team." "Sounds good," I say, turning back to my cleanup. She heads upstairs, leaving me alone with my thoughts. By late afternoon, I'm wrestling with a dining room cabinet. The knob is loose, and I'm no handyman, but I'm determined to fix it. My phone buzzes on the table, an incoming call from Emma. The sight of her name sparks a flicker of warmth. "Hey, Emma," I answer, brushing sawdust off my hands. "Hey," she says, her voice gentle. "Just checking how you're holding up. Need any help with the house?" I glance around at the scattered tools and boxes. "I won't say no if you're volunteering." She laughs softly. "I'll swing by in an hour." I realize how much I miss hearing her laugh in person. Since finalizing the divorce, we've texted often, but she's been giving me space. Hearing her offer to come over sends my heart fluttering in a way I'm still getting used to. It's not the same as leaning on her out of desperation. There's a new dynamic evolving, one that feels hopeful. An hour later, a knock at the door. Emma steps in, hair loose around her shoulders, wearing a casual sweater and jeans. She smiles, surveying the chaos. You've been busy. Trying my best, I say, suddenly self-conscious about the mess. Thanks for coming. She sets down a tote bag. I brought donuts. Figured we could use sugar to fuel our home improvement spree. I grin, and for a moment it's like the weight on my chest lifts. Zoe wanders by, gives Emma a cheerful greeting, then disappears to her room. Emma and I move through the downstairs, sorting through boxes, deciding what stays and what goes. Her presence brightens the place. We find old photos of the kids in kindergarten, random souvenirs from family vacations, even a battered comic book Marcus used to adore. Amid the clutter, Emma halts at a table stacked with leftover paperwork from the divorce. She looks at me, concern etching her features. You doing okay with all this? I exhale. Yeah. Some days are weird, like I'm still expecting Lauren to walk in, start an argument or something, but mostly I feel relieved, and a little guilty for feeling relieved. Her hand brushes my arm. It's normal to have mixed emotions, Michael. This was your life for 2 decades. I study her face. There's a softness there, an understanding that comes from truly caring. My pulse quickens. For months, I fought these sparks of attraction, worried about betraying my marriage or complicating things. Now, the barrier's gone. An odd realization strikes me. I'm free to let this deepen. As if reading my thoughts, Emma clears her throat, stepping closer. Look, I wanted to say something. Her voice is trembling, a vulnerability shining in her eyes. I know this is new territory, but I've found myself thinking about you a lot. More than just a friend. My heart thunders. Emma, she rushes on. I'm not pushing you, but I can't ignore how I feel. You've been so strong, and I admire you. She swallows hard. I love you, Michael. Her confession feels like a seismic shift. For a second, I'm back in high school, heart pounding with anticipation and nerves. Only now I'm older, bruised from a failed marriage, uncertain if I'm ready for a new leap. But warmth floods me at her words. I draw a breath. I love you too, I say, voice shaky. I didn't want to admit it before the timing was all wrong. But now... She exhales, relief mingling with tears. We share a tremulous smile, that moment stretching into something electric. A part of me wonders if it's too soon after the divorce, but another part believes Emma's been my anchor all along. Maybe it's time to embrace this. We're so close now, the air charged with unspoken possibilities. I gently place a hand on her cheek and she leans in, eyes fluttering shut. The kiss is soft, hesitant at first, but deepening with months of pent-up emotion. It tastes of relief, second chances, and hope. When we break apart, we're both breathless, eyes shining. She laughs nervously, cheeks flushed. I guess that's a new beginning. I smile. Yeah, I murmur, feeling a lightness I haven't known in ages. I'd say so. We spend the rest of the afternoon working together, occasionally sneaking glances that bring shy grins. Over donuts and coffee, we talk about everyday stuff, work schedules, new restaurants in town, Zoe's sarcastic sense of humor, Marcus's upcoming game. It's peaceful, ordinary, and somehow extraordinary at the same time. Before leaving, Emma lingers by the door. Let me know if you need more help, she says, voice still soft with emotion. I nod, heart pounding. I will, and thanks. For everything. She presses her palm to mine in a gentle goodbye. Then she's gone, and I stand there in the fading daylight, warmth blooming in my chest. My life is a mess of unpacked boxes, old memories, and uncertain roads ahead. But one thing is clear. I'm not alone anymore. That night, as I watch Zoe and Marcus preparing for bed, Zoe reading some textbook, Marcus rummaging for a missing sneaker, I feel a surge of gratitude. We're forging a new normal, and for once, the idea of tomorrow doesn't scare me. It feels open, brimming with potential, because I'm no longer trapped by Lauren's betrayal. I'm stepping forward with Emma by my side, into a future that's entirely my own design. The weekend sun streaks across the kitchen floor as I flip pancakes for Zoe and Marcus. My attempt at a dad feast is part of our new tradition, lazy breakfasts, where we can actually talk without tension. Since Lauren's departure, the kids and I have been filling the silence with small pockets of togetherness. Marcus sniffs appreciatively. Smells awesome, Dad. You actually learned how to cook. I laugh, flipping a slightly lopsided pancake. Yeah, well, necessity is the mother of invention, right? Zoe stifles a giggle. Don't let him fool you, Marcus. Yesterday's waffle experiment was a near disaster. Hey, I protest, but can't hide a grin. It's nice to see them relaxed, trading jokes without the underlying strain we've lived with for so long. As we eat, Zoe glances at me. Any plans today? I sip my coffee. Emma's coming over later. I thought we'd grab groceries, maybe take a walk by the river. You two have anything going on? Marcus shrugs. Might hang with friends at the rec center. Not sure. Zoe mumbles something about studying. A small hush settles. I sense they want to ask about Emma, whether we're just friends or something more, but they don't push, and I'm not sure how to broach the subject yet. Eventually, Emma arrives, stepping inside with a friendly knock. Marcus greets her with an offhand, "Hey," while Zoe offers a polite smile. They've known Emma for years as my best friend, but the mood shifts now like everyone can sense a different energy. Emma's carrying a stack of groceries. "Thought I'd help restock your fridge," she says cheerfully. Zoe eyes the bags. "Thanks, I'll put them away." She disappears into the kitchen, Marcus on her heels, leaving me and Emma by the foyer. I exhale. "They're still adjusting." Emma nods. "I understand. No rush." We settle in the living room. I notice Zoe and Marcus occasionally peeking from the kitchen, part curiosity, part wariness, like they're trying to puzzle out the new dynamic. After an hour of small talk and reading, I call them in. "So I wanted to talk to you two about something," I begin, heart pounding. Emma sets aside a magazine, her expression encouraging. The kids share a glance, then sit. "What's up, Dad?" Zoe asks, folding her arms. I take a breath. "You both know Emma's been my friend for a long time. And you've probably noticed we've grown closer, especially since the divorce." Marcus fiddles with a stray thread on his hoodie. "Yeah, I guess so." Emma chimes in, voice kind. "I care about your dad very much. I've cared about him for years, but it's different now that he's free to, well, date." An awkward pause. Zoe clears her throat. "Are you two, like, dating officially?" I glance at Emma, who smiles softly. "I think so, yes," I say. "But only if you guys are comfortable with it. I don't want to force anything." Zoe's eyes flick between us. "It's weird," she admits, "but not bad. I mean, you're way better than—" She trails off, not wanting to slam Lauren in front of Emma. Marcus looks thoughtful. "I'm fine with it if you're both happy." A hint of a smile curls his lips. Emma's way cooler than half the parents I know. Relief floods me. Emma's gaze glistens with gratitude. "We still respect your space, of course," she says gently. "I'm not barging in trying to be a stepmom tomorrow." Zoe actually laughs. "Chill, Emma. It's okay. I'm just glad Dad's not sulking around all day." Marcus grins, nodding agreement. The tension eases, replaced by a cautious acceptance. Emma and I exchange a meaningful glance. This hurdle, at least, is cleared. Still, it's not entirely smooth sailing. Over the next few days, whispers drift in from neighbors or extended acquaintances. Word spreads that Michael's already moved on, fueling mild gossip. I catch glimpses of pursed lips or raised eyebrows when Emma stops by. Once, an old co-worker corners me in the grocery aisle, murmuring, "Didn't you just get divorced?" in a tone laced with judgment. I handle it calmly, shrugging off their insinuations. I've learned that folks will talk no matter what. At home, Zoe mentions hearing from a friend that her mom is shocked Michael's dating so soon. I brace myself for Lauren's potential reaction, but she remains distant, rarely contacting me except to arrange Marcus's visits. One night, Marcus ambles into the living room as I'm sorting laundry. "Dad," he starts, hesitating. "Some guys at practice said it's weird you're dating your best friend. They acted like I don't know, like you must have cheated before." A pulse of anger flares. I set aside a towel. "That's not true," I say firmly. "Emma and I never crossed that line while I was married." He nods, eyes serious. "I believe you. Just people talk, you know?" I sigh, running a hand through my hair. "Yeah, they'll assume what they want. But the truth is, your mom pushed me away a long time ago. Emma's the one who stuck by me, but only as a friend until the divorce was final. Don't let rumors get to you. Marcus exhales. Okay, I get it. I just didn't know how to respond. I rest a hand on his shoulder. You tell them they don't know the whole story, and that you trust your dad, okay? He nods, relief softening his features. Got it. In the midst of these challenges, Emma remains unwavering. She helps me navigate my swirling guilt. Guilt for moving on. Guilt for letting the kids see me affectionate with someone who isn't their mother. Each day, though, I sense my emotional wounds scabbing over, replaced by the cautious excitement of building a future that's mine. Late one evening, Emma stays for dinner. We chat about random topics, her job, my workplace, Marcus's basketball game. Zoe cracks jokes, rolling her eyes when I mispronounce some new slang she uses. As the meal winds down, I realize how natural it all feels. The laughter, the comfortable vibe, the warm presence of Emma integrated into our daily life. It's not forced or overshadowed by secrets. It's real. After the kids retreat to do their own things, Emma and I linger at the dining table. She reaches across, hand sliding into mine. I think this is going okay, she says softly, searching my eyes. I intertwine our fingers. Better than I ever expected. She smiles. I'm proud of you, you know, for surviving all that heartbreak and still finding a way to trust again. A lump forms in my throat. Couldn't have done it without you. She blushes, leaning over to peck my cheek. I'll always have your back, Michael. That simple declaration feels like a promise, one I believe with every fiber of my being. We rinse dishes together, shoulders occasionally bumping, exchanging content smiles. Later, she heads home, no overnight stays yet, as we're taking things slow for the kids' sake. But I fall asleep that night with a deep sense of peace. For once, tomorrow doesn't loom as a threat. It's an open horizon. I'm sipping coffee at the kitchen island when my phone rings, Lauren's name flashing on the screen. My stomach tightens. Her calls have been rare. Usually it's a brief text about Marcus's schedule or Zoe's college queries. I answer, bracing for potential friction. Hello? Her voice is tentative, even a bit nervous. Hi, Michael. I was wondering if we could talk maybe about a schedule for Marcus. I'd like to see him more often. I swallow a flicker of resentment, reminding myself the divorce is final. I can handle her calmly. Sure, I say. When are you free to meet? Maybe this evening, she offers. I can drop by. I promise not to linger. I exhale, nodding. Okay, come after dinner. We'll figure something out. That evening, Emma's over for a casual meal spaghetti, which she insists on cooking with Zoe's help. Marcus is playing a video game in the living room, the noise of digital gunfire or explosions echoing. I mention Lauren's upcoming visit to Emma, who gives me a supportive nod. We finish dinner just as the doorbell rings. I usher Emma into the living room with the kids while I open the door. Lauren stands there in jeans and a blouse, hair pinned back. There's a hint of sadness in her eyes. She glances past me, noticing Emma's jacket on the coat rack. Her lips tighten, but she says nothing. We head to the small study, leaving Emma and the kids to watch some show. Lauren eyes the space that used to be our office, now stripped of her old decor. A tension seeps into the air. She clears her throat, taking a seat. So Marcus, she begins, fingers twisting in her lap. I'd like to have him for weekends occasionally. Maybe take him to basketball practice or out for dinner. I lean back in the chair, arms folded. You can. The court allowed visitation, but it's flexible based on mutual agreement. He's old enough to have a say, too. She nods stiffly. I know. I just wanted to see if we could set a regular schedule. Maybe every other weekend with one weeknight dinner? I weigh it. I'll talk to Marcus about it. If he's comfortable, I'm okay with that. She studies me, eyes flicking with something like regret. Thank you. A pause. How is he doing? Really? I sigh. He's adjusting. He misses the idea of a stable family, but he's coping. She nods, biting her lip. And Zoe? She's 18 now, shaping her own future. She's still hurt, Lauren. You can't expect quick forgiveness. Lauren's shoulders slump. I miss them. An awkward silence. Part of me wants to remind her that she chose her path, but I keep my composure. If you genuinely show up for them, I say quietly, maybe they'll come around. Don't push too hard. She fiddles with a pen, glancing toward the doorway. Right. And Emma's here, I guess. Her tone is strained. My chest tightens. She's part of my life now. She exhales, staring at her hands. I can't say it's easy seeing you move on so fast. Anger flares, but I steady myself. Fast? We were emotionally done long before the divorce. Emma was my friend first. Don't twist it. She winces. I'm not twisting. I just never thought we'd end up like this. A tired wave of sympathy and frustration washes over me. Neither did I say simply. We finalize a tentative plan for Marcus's weekend visits. I walk her to the door, noticing her eyes flick toward the living room where Emma laughs at some joke Zoe told. The scene must cut her. She gives me a stiff nod and slips out. When I rejoin Emma, she's sitting on the couch with Zoe and Marcus, watching a cooking competition show. Zoe tilts her head. Everything okay? I drop onto the armchair. Yeah, fine. Just scheduling stuff for Marcus. Marcus shrugs, picking at a loose thread on his pant leg. If Mom wants to see me, I guess I'm cool with it. She just has to actually show up, right? I lock eyes with him. Exactly. I told her consistency matters. She's aware. Zoe looks uncomfortable, drumming her fingers on her knee. I'm not ready to hang out with her in case she asks. Emma places a reassuring hand on Zoe's knee. You decide when you're ready. Zoe glances at Emma, offering a small half-smile. I observe the exchange. Emma is seamlessly supporting my kids in a way Lauren hasn't in ages. Pride and gratitude stir in me. It underscores the difference. Emma's presence soothes, whereas Lauren's ignites tension. Over the following week, Lauren attempts a reconciliation dinner with Marcus. To my surprise, she arrives on time to pick him up, looking almost nervous. I watch from the door as Marcus clambers into her car. There's a hint of awkwardness in his posture, but at least he agreed to go. Hours later, he returns, shrugging when I ask how it went. It was okay, he says, plopping onto the couch. She kept asking about my life, like she's trying to catch up in one night. Told her not to push. She just nodded. I sense a small flicker of hope in his voice, though. Perhaps Lauren's finally making an effort. That said, I won't let my guard down. We've come too far to forget how easily she once chose other priorities. Meanwhile, Emma continues to blend into our daily routine, whether it's cooking together, heading to a bookstore on weekends, or just chatting with Zoe about college applications. People still talk neighbors, acquaintances, Lauren's old friends whispering about me replacing her. But I've learned not to let gossip define me. One evening, Emma and I watch a late movie after the kids go to sleep. The living room is dim except for the flicker of the TV. She curls into my side, an arm around my waist, her head on my shoulder. A comfortable silence envelops us, broken only by the film's soundtrack. During the credits, she lifts her head, eyes thoughtful. Michael, are you truly happy with me here, in your space? I brush a strand of hair from her face. Yes, you've been my rock. Her cheeks tint pink. Sometimes I worry I'm intruding. This was your family's home, yours and Lauren's. I don't want to step on memories. A pang of old hurt stirs, but I push it aside. Those memories are overshadowed by her betrayal. I'm building new ones with you and the kids. And that feels right. She exhales, relief evident. Okay, she whispers, snuggling closer. Just making sure. My chest swells with something tender, a sense of belonging that once felt impossible. We stay like that for a while, content in each other's warmth, the hum of the TV fading to background noise. As the weeks pass, Lauren sporadically visits Marcus, attempts brief phone calls to Zoe, still stilted but less confrontational. I set boundaries. She's not to wander the house, not to interrogate the kids about Emma. We remain civil for the sake of co-parenting, but trust is non-existent. Her regret is palpable, but I sense it's as much about losing control as losing me. Meanwhile, Emma quietly becomes a pillar in our household. She never oversteps if Zoe and Marcus need space. She respects it. If they want to chat, she's a patient listener. And in private moments, we deepen our bond, gentle kisses, heartfelt conversations, confessions of old insecurities. The kids notice I'm calmer, more at ease. Even Marcus teases me once. Dad, you're actually smiling more these days. One afternoon, Zoe catches me clearing out a closet full of dusty boxes. She smirks. Midlife house purge? Something like that, I say, blowing dust off a stack of old letters. Feels good to declutter. She helps me bag items for donation, pausing at a photo of Lauren and me from years ago. I used to think you and Mom were unstoppable, she murmurs, sadness creeping into her voice. I place a hand on her shoulder. We had good times, Zoe, but people change, and it didn't end well. She sighs, tossing the photo into a keep pile. I guess Emma's not going anywhere, huh? I watch her carefully. Only if you and Marcus can handle it. If it ever becomes too much, we'll talk. Zoe's lips curve into a faint smile. I like her, Dad. Don't worry. She's better for you than Mom was, honestly. My throat tightens. I nod, gratitude flooding me. Zoe returns to sorting, humming under her breath. In that moment, I realize how much we've all grown from the ashes of heartbreak. We're not fully healed, but we're headed somewhere healthier. That night, after the kids are asleep, I call Emma, listening to her soothing voice. We talk about random mundane stuff, her day at work, a funny video she saw online until she yawns, half laughing. I should let you sleep. Just one more minute, I whisper, not wanting to hang up. We linger in comfortable silence, hearts connected through the phone. Once upon a time, I dreaded every new day. Now, each sunrise feels like a step forward, one more chance to build trust, love, and a stable life for my family. A soft drizzle taps the windows as I straighten the living room, glancing at the clock. Tonight is Zoe's small graduation celebration, just a casual gathering for family and a few close friends. She finished her community college semester early, and while the official ceremony is months away, she insisted on a low-key get-together to mark the milestone. Marcus is helping set out snacks, while Zoe fusses over decorations. She asked me to invite Emma, which warms my heart. Even Marcus texted Emma on his own, telling her to drop by around 6 p.m. The kids see her as part of us now. My mind drifts to how effortlessly she's woven into our routines, like she's always been here, but in a deeper, more loving role. When Emma arrives carrying a tray of cookies and a wide smile, Zoe rushes over. "We needed more sugar," Zoe teases. "Thank you." Emma laughs, and I sense an easy camaraderie forming between them. The doorbell rings again. I open it to find Candace. Yes, the real estate contact I met some time ago holding a small gift bag. We've stayed friendly, though nothing romantic ever developed. "Heard there was a celebration," she says, stepping in. "Couldn't miss it." Zoe's longtime friend, Dina, also appears, toting a bottle of sparkling cider. Everyone mingles, conversation buzzing through the house. I notice Marcus taking the lead on showing Dina around, a slight flush on his cheeks, perhaps a budding crush, but I keep my fatherly nose out of it. In a quiet moment, Emma catches my eye from across the room. She raises her glass of cider in a silent toast. I smile back, heart flipping. This is the family vibe I always wanted. Genuine warmth, no forced pretenses. Even the drizzle outside can't dampen the mood. Zoe, perched on a chair, announces a casual, "Thank you for coming." She shares a few words about finishing her program, how the last year has been tough, but she's grateful for the support. Her eyes flick to me and Emma with a hint of affection. I blink back, sudden tears of pride. Once the small speeches end, the group disperses into smaller pockets of chatter. Emma drifts over, sliding her hand into mine. "You okay?" she asks softly. I nod, chest tight with emotion. Just proud and grateful. You helped make this house feel alive again. Her eyes shine. I'm the lucky one, Michael. Impulsively, I tug her into a gentle kiss. Nothing too dramatic, just a short, sweet moment. When we pull apart, a few onlookers grin or pretend to avert their eyes. I chuckle, cheeks warming. This sense of easy affection is new for me, but it feels right. Eventually, people begin filtering out. Marcus and Dina vanish outside to talk by her car, while Candace departs with a wave and a promise to reconnect. Zoe heads upstairs to change into comfy clothes, leaving Emma and me alone in the aftermath of snack bowls and empty cups. "Let me help clean up," Emma offers, collecting plates. We chat as we work, tossing trash, rinsing dishes. The quiet domesticity soothes me, a far cry from the frantic tension I used to endure with Lauren. Once done, we collapse on the couch, shoulders touching. The soft murmur of the dishwasher hums in the background. I take her hand in mine, turning to face her. I've been thinking about the future, I admit, heart pounding with a mix of nerves and anticipation. Her brows lift. Yeah? What about it? I swallow. We've been together in this in-between stage dating, but you're not living here. Part of me wonders if we should move forward. She tilts her head. Move forward how? Blood rushes in my ears. I'm not proposing marriage tomorrow, I say with a small laugh. But I'm serious about you, Emma. The kids are okay with us. I'd like us to consider sharing a life, maybe moving in together. Slowly, if you're comfortable. Her eyes shine with surprise, then a radiant smile spreads across her face. I'd like that too, Michael, but only if you're truly ready. Emotions swirl in my chest. Relief, excitement, a hint of fear. I'm ready. There's still baggage, I know, but I don't want to let fear hold me back. She kisses me softly, hand against my cheek. Then let's do it, but yes, slowly. We can talk details, see how Zoe and Marcus feel. Maybe I keep my apartment for a while longer until we're sure it works. A grin splits my face. Fair enough. Step by step. A comfortable hush settles. I feel like I'm floating in possibilities, no longer trapped by Lauren's chaos or my own bitterness. The conversation flows to practicalities. Emma's job across town, the kids' schedules, how we'll handle finances. It's the kind of planning I once dreaded, but with Emma, it's exhilarating. Mid-discussion, Zoe pads downstairs in pajama pants. She halts at the sight of us on the couch, notebooks and phones out as we talk living arrangements. Am I interrupting something? She teases. I share a look with Emma before turning to Zoe. We were just talking about Emma maybe moving in eventually if you two are comfortable. Zoe's eyes widen a touch. Oh, she says, gaze flicking between us. Yeah, that'd be okay with me. I mean, she's practically here half the time anyway. She rubs her arm, offering Emma a shy smile. You do cook better than Dad, so that's a bonus. I laugh, mock offended. Emma beams. I'll take that as an endorsement. Zoe shrugs good-naturedly. It is. I'm happy for you guys. Then she heads to the kitchen, presumably for a late-night snack. When she's gone, Emma exclaims quietly, Well, that was easier than expected. I exhale, a grin stuck on my face. Marcus might take more convincing, but I think he'll be fine. She leans her head on my shoulder. I'm so proud of how far we've come. I rest my cheek on her hair, breathing in her soft scent. Me too. We let a few minutes pass in tender silence. Rain patters against the windows, a gentle backdrop to our contentment. The hush is warm, reflective, like we're both savoring the hush after the storm that was my divorce and Lauren's fallout. At length, Emma softly murmurs, Do you ever think about I don't know regrets? A pang tugs at me. Sometimes. I regret not seeing Lauren spiral sooner. I regret how it hurt the kids, but if I dwell on it, I'll never move forward. And now I have you, Zoe Marcus, a real chance at happiness. She nods, tears in her eyes. I feel the same. I hated watching you suffer, but I'm grateful we found each other like this. I only want to help you heal and make a better life. I tighten my hold on her hand. We're doing that, day by day. In that moment, my chest brims with hope. The last few months have been a painful journey from betrayal and heartbreak to reluctant acceptance, then the slow build of new love. Now, watching Emma's face shine with promise, I feel my heart mending, the scars forging a stronger version of me. Yes, challenges remain. Co-parenting with Lauren will never be simple, and the kids might still grapple with trust issues. But I sense a turning point in my soul. I'm free to shape my next chapter, carrying lessons from the past without letting them define me. I give Emma a gentle kiss on the forehead. Mid-morning sunlight spills through my office window, the city skyline glinting in the distance. I lean back in my chair, glancing at the framed photos on my desk. There's one of Zoe and Marcus grinning after a recent basketball championship, another of Emma beaming at me across a table laden with coffee mugs. My heart warms at how far we've come since those chaotic days. I'm settling into a new chapter both personally and professionally. When I started at this company years ago, I was content to coast. My energy was always funneled into keeping my family afloat. Now that's changed. I've poured myself into a bold new initiative at work, a technology project that requires strategy, planning, and a willingness to take risks. People around here have noticed the shift in me, less anxious, more driven. Today, I'm finalizing the proposal for upper management. My phone buzzes with a text from Emma. "Good luck on your presentation." "I believe in you. Always." Smiling, I type back a quick thanks. She's championed every one of my ambitions, urging me to seize the moment. An hour later, I step into a sleek conference room. My boss, Stephanie, and a few key stakeholders are waiting. I launch into my pitch, showing them data, prototypes, and potential market growth. My voice steadies with confidence I once lacked. It's like everything that happened in my personal life forged me into someone who no longer backs down. After I wrap up, Stephanie stands, clapping. "That was impressive, Michael. We should move forward with your plan. Prepare a timeline for next quarter." My chest swells with relief and excitement. I shake her hand, gratitude swirling. On my way out, a coworker, Jacob, grins. "Dude, you're killing it," he says, patting my shoulder. "Is it the new relationship glow or what?" I laugh softly. "Might be," I admit. I don't broadcast my personal life, but word spreads fast in a close-knit environment. People know I've gone through a rough divorce and am now building something stable with Emma. If they gossip, I hardly care anymore. Let them talk. I have bigger goals in mind. That evening I head home, mind brimming with new ideas. I find Emma in the kitchen, hair tied back, stirring a pot of soup that smells like garlic and herbs. Zoe's sprawled on the couch, scrolling her phone, and Marcus rummages in the fridge for a sports drink. It's a simple scene, yet it grounds me in a way I never expected. "Something smells amazing," I say, setting my bag aside. Emma wipes her hands on a towel, smiling. "Thought I'd try a new recipe. We'll see if it's edible." Zoe snorts. "It can't be worse than Dad's attempts at fancy waffles." Marcus snickers, and I feign offense. "I'll have you know, my waffles are legendary for better or worse." While we banter, Emma ladles soup into bowls. Then she shares a glance with me, something unreadable sparking in her eyes. Once we're all seated, she clears her throat. "So I have some news," she announces. The kids go quiet, spoons pausing midair. My heart thuds, recalling we'd discussed the possibility of starting a family someday, but I never pinned down the timing. Emma sets down her spoon, inhaling slowly. "I got a promotion at work," she says, a grin flashing. "They want me to lead a new team." Relief tinged with excitement ripples through me. So that's her news. The kids congratulate her. Marcus high-fives her. Zoe beams with genuine pride. I can't hide my elation, leaning over to plant a quick kiss on Emma's cheek. She laughs, turning pink. "Nice going," I murmur. "Leading a team, huh?" She nods, eyes gleaming. It's a big step. More responsibility, but I'm ready. Later, after the kids drift off to their own pursuits, Emma and I settle on the couch. She snuggles under my arm, the glow of a single lamp illuminating her thoughtful expression. "I was worried you'd think it's too soon for me to take on a bigger role, given we're still blending our lives." I kiss her temple. "I'd never hold you back. You supported me forging ahead at work. Now it's my turn to support you." She relaxes against me. We chat about schedules, the balancing act of two busy careers, my new project, her upcoming responsibilities. It might be complicated, but the excitement is palpable. I realize we're both stepping into something bigger, a legacy, in a sense, of forging success beyond the shadow of my old marriage. As the night wears on, we share small kisses, laughter, quiet reassurances. She eventually heads back to her apartment, still wanting to keep her place until we're fully ready for a permanent move. I watch her car taillights fade down the street, my heart thrumming with gratitude. Life feels full of promise, a horizon beckoning with possibilities. Before bed, I peek into Marcus's room. He's half asleep, earphones in. Zoe is reading in hers, earbud dangling from one ear. She glances up, curiosity flicking across her face. "Emma leaving already?" I nod. "Yeah, she's got an early morning. You okay?" Zoe shrugs. "Sure, she's cool. It's just different from how things used to be." Better, I guess. Her tone is thoughtful, not resentful. I nod, stepping forward. I'm proud of you, you know. You've adapted so well despite everything. She gives a little smile. I had a good teacher. My throat tightens. Without another word, she goes back to her book, and I quietly close the door, emotions swirling. In the hall, I pause, letting the stillness soak in. I recall a time when the silence of this house felt suffocating, overshadowed by Lauren's absence and my despair. Now it's peaceful, a place where each of us has room to grow. I sense that I'm building a foundation not just for me, but for the kids, and possibly for future expansions to our family. The thought of that maybe another child with Emma, or simply the extension of love we already share, feels simultaneously daunting and exhilarating. I drift to my own room, flipping off the light. Lying in bed, I stare at the ceiling, replaying the day's events. My ambitious project at work, Emma's promotion, the kids' contentment. It's a cascade of positivity I never believed possible back when betrayal overshadowed every thought. But I survived that heartbreak, and in doing so, found a fiercer drive and eagerness to leave something meaningful behind, a new legacy that my children can be proud of. Just before I slip into sleep, my phone vibrates with one last text. It's from Emma. Sweet dreams, future team lead. I grin in the darkness, typing a quick reply. Sweet dreams, leader of your own empire. My eyes close, a faint smile lingering. The old wounds remain, but they no longer define me. Tomorrow is a fresh page, and I'm writing it on my own terms. My footsteps echo against the marble floor of the art museum, a place I rarely visited before everything changed. Emma and I decided to come here on a random Saturday, drawn by an exhibit Zoe recommended. She said it helps you reflect on the past in a way that feels forward-looking. As we wander through bright galleries of modern paintings, I sense a gentle hush around us, like the building itself encourages introspection. We pause in front of a large abstract piece, all swirling colors and jagged lines. Emma tilts her head. "What do you see?" she asks softly. I study it, letting shapes coalesce. It's chaos turning into something calmer. The bottom half is all these collisions, and near the top it softens. She smiles. "That's how I see your journey. Turmoil at first, then a slow fade into peace." My chest tightens with affection. I slide an arm around her waist, still marveling that we can do this openly, no guilt, no fear. We continue past sculptures and photographs, exchanging light commentary about our favorites. Then, in a small corridor, I'm jolted by a familiar face stepping out from behind a statue. Lauren. The sight of her triggers a reflexive clench in my gut. She freezes, meeting my eyes with equal surprise. Emma tenses beside me, hand slipping into mine. For a breath, none of us moves, caught in an awkward standoff. Lauren recovers first, offering a hesitant smile. "Michael, Emma, I didn't expect to see you here." My pulse thuds. "We're just enjoying the art." My voice is level, containing the swirl of emotions. Lauren nods. She's dressed casually, a light scarf around her neck. She looks calmer than the last time I saw her, though a hint of sadness lingers in her gaze. "I came with a friend," she explains, glancing around. "She's probably lost in the photography section." Emma remains poised, her stance protective but not hostile. "Nice to see you, Lauren," she says softly, no edge in her tone. Lauren's eyes flick between us. "Right, you too." She clears her throat, voice trembling slightly. "Marcus told me you got that promotion, Emma. Congratulations." Emma blinks, surprised. "Thanks. It's been a whirlwind." Another fragile silence. My heart hammers, recalling all the bitterness that once coursed through me. Yet standing here in this public space, I feel different. I'm not the same man overshadowed by betrayal. She's not the same woman who manipulated me. The raw edges have dulled, replaced by a strange civility. Lauren shifts, gesturing to the painting behind her. "This exhibit is beautiful. Reminds me that sometimes destruction leads to creation. Don't you think?" I swallow. Destruction leads to creation. The words resonate with our story. "Yeah," I manage. "I guess it does." She must see something in my face because her voice quavers. "I'm sorry for everything, Michael. I know you've moved on, but I still regret how I treated you. And the kids." She looks at Emma. "I'm glad they have you." Emma softens. "They're wonderful kids," she says gently. Lauren nods, tears glistening in her eyes. I won't keep you. My friend's waiting. She takes a step back, gaze lingering on me. I hope you find all the happiness I couldn't give you. Time slows for a moment as I realize she truly sounds sincere, no hidden agenda, no manipulative tilt. I release a long breath. Thank you, I say quietly. I hope you find your peace too. A fleeting look of relief crosses her face. Then she turns and walks away, footsteps echoing until she disappears behind a row of sculptures. Emma squeezes my hand, empathy in her eyes. Neither of us speaks. We wander on, hearts pounding, leaving the corridor's tension behind. Eventually, we exit the museum into a bright afternoon. Emma steers me to a nearby bench and we sit, the city's bustle swirling around. I rub my temples, processing the unexpected run-in. You okay? Emma asks, voice gentle. Yeah, I murmur, strangely okay. I turn to her, emotions churning. It was weirdly healing in a way. She seemed genuine. Emma nods. Sometimes closure doesn't come with big dramatics, just acceptance. I exhale, shoulders relaxing. Maybe that's what it is, an echo of the past, no longer menacing. Instead, it's a soft note reminding me we survived something destructive, and now we stand on the other side, forging new stories. In the hush of the museum corridor, Lauren's apology felt like a final piece of that puzzle clicking into place. We stroll along the sidewalk, hand in hand, discussing everything from dinner plans to a summer road trip. I mention that Zoe's considering transferring to a 4-year college next semester, and Emma excitedly offers to help her with applications. My mind drifts to the possibility of expansions to our family, something we'd only briefly touched on. The idea used to terrify me, but now, it feels like a natural progression. Maybe not tomorrow, but eventually. That night, we gather with Zoe and Marcus for a simple dinner of grilled chicken and salad. We recount the museum visit, omitting the detail about running into Lauren. Marcus chatters about his upcoming sports tournament. Zoe gushes about her friend's new internship. Emma's phone buzzes with messages from her new team at work. After dinner, the kids drift off to their rooms. Emma and I wash dishes side by side, comfortable in the domestic hush. As I dry a plate, I hear the water shut off. She turns to me, an unreadable emotion flickering in her eyes. You thinking about Lauren? She asks softly, drying her hands. I set the plate down, leaning against the counter. A bit. That apology threw me, but I'm not haunted like before. It felt final. She rests a palm on my chest. Good. A tentative pause. I've wondered how you'd react if she ever tried to come back, but it seems she's let you go too. I consider that. Maybe. She's left me with scars, but those scars remind me how strong I got by surviving. And I choose you, Emma. I've chosen this life we're building. A gentle smile graces her lips. She leans in, offering a soft kiss, the faucet dripping in the background. The moment feels both ordinary and profound, kitchen lights reflecting on the wet countertop, the quiet hush of a home no longer fractured by conflict. We dry the last dish, switch off the kitchen light, and head to the living room. I sink onto the couch, Emma curling up beside me. My phone buzzes with a text, Zoe letting me know she'll be out with a friend tomorrow. I chuckle, sending a quick okay, be safe. Emma snuggles closer, voice hushed. I love this normal, everyday life with you. My heart swells. Me too, I whisper, pressing my cheek against her hair. No more fear of betrayal, no more legal fights, just us, the kids, building something real. As we sit in the dimly lit space, the memory of Lauren's apology lingers like a faint note in the background. I sense the final ghost of resentment fading away, replaced by acceptance that the past is the past. We may never be friends, but we can coexist without being enemies. It's a powerful release, freeing me to focus on the people who truly matter. Emma rests a hand on my chest, lulled by the rhythm of my heartbeat. My thoughts drift to the future, my new business plan at work, Emma's leadership role, Zoe's upcoming opportunities, Marcus's sports dreams. Maybe someday Emma and I will add another child to the mix. The house is big enough, our hearts open enough. For the first time, I'm not afraid of any direction life takes me. A crisp breeze ruffles the rows of folding chairs set up in my backyard. I stand at the makeshift altar, a simple wooden arch draped with white linens and a cascade of flowers. The late afternoon sun casts long shadows, painting the grass in golden hues. It's not exactly a grand wedding hall, but it's perfect for what Emma and I envisioned. A vow renewal that doubles as a quiet wedding ceremony, affirming our future together. My palms sweat, heart fluttering. Zoe and Marcus are across the lawn, chatting with a handful of guests' close friends, my sister from out of town, and Emma's parents who arrived yesterday. It's a small gathering, far from the elaborate spectacle of my first wedding with Lauren. Yet the intimacy feels right, every person here rooting for Emma and me. Emma's parents watch me with kind eyes. I remember meeting them formally a few months back. They've embraced me wholeheartedly, touched by my story and grateful Emma found happiness. Her father, Robert, gives me a thumbs up from his seat. I manage a grin, nerves crackling in my stomach. Then I see her Emma steps onto the back porch, escorted by Marcus. She's wearing a simple ivory dress, hair twisted into a loose updo. My breath hitches. She looks radiant, eyes shining with a mixture of excitement and tears. Marcus beams, guiding her down the short grassy aisle to where I wait. We hold each other's gaze, a hush settling over the onlookers. The officiant, a friendly local judge, clears his throat, welcoming everyone. A faint hush of wind passes through the trees, like nature itself bearing witness. Emma and I decided on a vow renewal because we've both experienced broken promises before mine with Lauren, hers from a previous relationship years ago. This ceremony symbolizes forging new vows that truly reflect who we are now. As we face each other, I recall the storm of heartbreak that once ravaged my life, the revenge I orchestrated in silence, the tears and sleepless nights. And here I am, alive, stronger, in love. The officiant nods at me first. I swallow hard, taking Emma's hands. My voice shakes with emotion. Emma, you were my friend when I had no one else to trust. You saw me through betrayal, through heartbreak, and never turned away. You gave me hope when I didn't think I deserved it. Today I vow to stand by you the same way. I promise honesty, respect, and a love that grows with each passing day. Emma's eyes glisten. She inhales, voice trembling but resolute. Michael, you showed me that love can bloom even after the darkest storm. I've watched you fight for your family, for your freedom, and for your own happiness. Today, I promise to fight beside you, to be your partner in every sense. I vow to cherish you, trust you, and never lose faith in what we build together. Tears slip down my cheeks. I can't help the flood of gratitude surging through me. The officiant, eyes warm, reads a short passage about renewal and second chances. Then, with a gentle smile, he pronounces us united. We exchange rings, a modern band for me, a delicate ring for Emma. Applause erupts, modest but heartfelt, from our guests. Zoe wipes her eyes, grinning widely. Marcus claps, a proud smile on his face. We seal it with a soft kiss. The crowd whoops and hollers, led by Emma's father. My sister tosses some makeshift confetti. Emma laughs against my lips, her tears mingling with mine. This is a day of quiet celebration, but it feels monumental. The rest of the evening is a relaxed backyard reception. Candles flicker on small tables, music plays from a portable speaker, and friends mingle. Zoe and Marcus help serve finger foods, joking about how they never thought they'd see me so sappy. Emma's parents give a short toast, praising her strength and my resilience. My sister teases me about the difference between this ceremony and my first wedding, how I look truly at peace this time. Midway through, I catch a glimpse of someone hovering near the gate. Lauren. My chest tightens. Did she come uninvited? Or is this an attempt at a final confrontation? Emma notices my alarm, and we quietly slip away from the crowd to greet Lauren before any scene unfolds. She's dressed casually, holding a small box. Her posture is wary. I heard from Marcus you were having a vow renewal, she says softly, eyes darting to the festive lights. I wanted to leave this gift for you and Emma. I'm not here to crash the party. I exchange a glance with Emma, who gives me a subtle nod of support. My voice is measured. You could have called first. Lauren's cheeks flush. I know. It was a last-minute decision. I won't stay, just wanted to say congratulations. I exhale, relief mingled with caution. Thank you. She extends the box, no bigger than a shoebox, wrapped in silver paper. Emma hesitates, then accepts it. There's an awkward moment of eye contact. Lauren's gaze flicks to me, sincerity shining. I mean it, Michael. I know what I did was unforgivable, but I do wish you happiness. Her voice breaks, and for a split second, I see the once familiar vulnerability behind her eyes. Emma steps forward, placing a gentle hand on my arm. We appreciate that, Lauren, she says quietly. Lauren manages a watery smile. I'll go now. Enjoy your day. She turns, hurrying back through the gate. The entire exchange lasts less than a minute, but it leaves a trembling hush behind. Emma glances at the silver box, biting her lip. Should we open it? I nod. We slip inside the house for a moment, finding a quiet corner near the kitchen. Carefully, Emma peels away the wrapping. Inside is a glass sculpture, a small, tasteful piece shaped like a phoenix rising from flames. A note reads, May you both rise from the ashes, stronger than before. Lauren. My throat tightens. A phoenix, I murmur. Fitting. Emma's eyes glisten. She nods, setting the sculpture on a side table. That's unexpectedly thoughtful. We share a silent reflection. Lauren's gift feels like a final gesture of acceptance, a symbolic passing of the torch that once burned so fiercely between us. Maybe she, too, is forging her own path to redemption. Back outside, the party continues. The atmosphere is light and joyful as the sun dips into the horizon, painting the sky in violet and gold. I notice Zoe swaying to the gentle music, Marcus chatting with a friend near the buffet. Emma and I meander among our guests, accepting congratulations, hugging loved ones. The thought occurs that we're not just celebrating our union, but the unity of a family that refused to be destroyed by betrayal. In a quieter lull, Emma and I stand by the flickering torches that line the yard. Soft laughter echoes around us. I slip an arm around her waist, pulling her close. Thank you for saying yes, I whisper. She grins, eyes shining. There was never a doubt. We lock eyes, hearts full. My mind drifts to all the nights I felt alone, the times revenge consumed me, the days I doubted I'd ever trust again. Now, in this moment of flickering torchlight and shared love, I realize how much I've grown. Lauren's betrayal nearly broke me, but it also paved the way for a life built on honesty and devotion. Standing here, arms wrapped around Emma, I feel the final vestiges of bitterness fade. The past is behind me, the future luminous. The early morning sun casts a gentle glow over the backyard, my favorite spot for a quiet cup of coffee. Today, Emma and I have set out a small table to enjoy the crisp air before the day's bustle begins. Zoe and Marcus are still asleep, the house peaceful. A new sense of calm envelops everything, as though we've finally stepped onto stable ground after years of navigating storms. I sip my coffee, letting the stillness seep in. Emma yawns, pulling her sweater tighter. Feels like autumn, she murmurs. Time's flying. I nod, glancing at the vibrant orange leaves on the maple tree. Yeah, hard to believe how much has changed. Sometimes I look around and wonder if it's real. She sets a warm hand on mine. It's real, Michael. You earned this peace. A flock of birds skims the sky, their formation elegant. I recall the vow renewal, the tears, the relief, the quiet acceptance from everyone present. Even Lauren's cameo, leaving us that symbolic phoenix, feels like a past life echo. My phone buzzes with a text from my sister, just checking in. I reply with a short "all's good here," smiling at the truth of it. Emma stretches, taking her mug to the edge of the yard. I join her, gazing at the patch of garden I once neglected. Now it's blooming with late-season flowers. Emma planted a few weeks back, splashes of yellow and purple. She turns to me, a mischievous glint in her eye. I had a dream last night, she says. We were traveling across the country in an RV visiting weird roadside attractions. Zoe and Marcus were complaining the whole time, but eventually loved it. Then we ended up at a lake, fishing, laughing. It was so vivid. I chuckle. That's quite an adventure. We could do it for real someday. She smirks. Might be a crazy family trip, but I'm game. For a moment, we stand in companionable silence, imagining possibilities. Once my life was consumed by a single betrayal. Now future plans stretch out in every direction. My career's booming, Emma's thriving, Zoe's forging her own academic path, and Marcus is blossoming into a confident teen. The heartbreak feels distant, more a chapter in a personal growth story than an open wound. Emma hesitates, shifting from foot to foot. "There's something I've been thinking about," she says quietly, voice trembling just enough to catch my attention. I turn fully to face her. "What's on your mind?" She inhales, her eyes warm. "When we first talked about maybe having a child together, well, it was hypothetical. But now, I'm open to it if you are." My breath catches. We'd touched on this concept lightly, like a distant dream. The reality hits me in a soft wave of longing. The idea of welcoming new life into this family we've rebuilt seems both exhilarating and terrifying. But looking at Emma's earnest expression, I sense it's more than just an idle thought. "You really want that?" I ask softly, searching her face. She nods, tears glinting. "I do. But only if it's right for us. No pressure. I just can't ignore the feeling that this chapter of healing and growth might lead to something new, like a baby who knows only love and stability from the start." My heart expands, a swirl of images dancing, a tiny crib in the corner of our bedroom, Zoe and Marcus squabbling over who gets to hold their new sibling, Emma and me navigating sleepless nights but thriving on joy. Warmth seeps through me. "I'd love that too," I murmur, pulling her into my arms. "Whenever the time feels right, let's do it." She exhales, relief flooding her face. We hold each other under the soft sun, a subtle breeze brushing our hair. It's a quiet promise, not an immediate step, but the seed is planted, a possibility that might blossom if we nurture it. A distant rustle signals the kids stirring. We head inside, where Zoe appears in the kitchen, rummaging for cereal. She greets us with a groggy "morning," and we exchange conspiratorial smiles. Maybe someday we'll share the baby idea with them, but for now, it's our little secret, a dream resting on the horizon. Later that day, while Emma is off running errands, I decide to organize some old files in the study. I stumble upon a dusty manila folder labeled Evidence, a relic of the days I documented Lauren's neglect. My hand stills on the folder, heart twinging. Slowly, I flip it open, scanning the notes and screenshots that once fueled my revenge. Nostalgia twists inside me, not for the betrayal, but for how consumed I was with proving her wrongdoing. I realize these papers hold no power over me anymore. I stand, taking the folder to the trash bin. My fingers tremble slightly as I deposit every page, every photo, every piece of evidence that once validated my anger. "Be careful what you wish for," I recall telling Lauren. Now I have everything I truly need: family, love, redemption, and I don't need these relics of a past war. That evening, I prepare a simple dinner. Emma returns, her laughter echoing through the hall as she chats with Zoe about something hilarious that happened at the store. Marcus emerges from his room, game controller in hand, and we eat together, laughter bouncing across the table. Even in mundane moments, I feel gratitude so strong it almost hurts. We have no illusions of perfection. There will be arguments, challenges, heartbreaks yet to come. But we face them together. After dinner, I slip outside alone, the twilight sky awash in shades of blue and violet. The garden is quiet, a few crickets chirping. My mind drifts to Lauren's final cameo at the vow renewal, her gift of the phoenix. She's still out there, forging her own path, presumably. Sometimes she texts Marcus with updates about a new job or a trip she's taking. He shares occasional lunches with her, and from what I gather, she's calmer, regretful, but not bitter. In the hush of dusk, I acknowledge a simple truth. My revenge wasn't about destroying her. It was about ensuring the kids and I were safe, recognized, and not left in the ruins of her recklessness. Now, that objective is complete. The bitterness is replaced by acceptance. I realize the scars from her betrayal shaped me into a more resilient person, a father, a partner, a man capable of unwavering devotion. And for that, I can't entirely hate what happened. It was a crucible that forged a wiser version of me. Emma joins me, looping an arm through mine. We gaze at the horizon, the last streaks of sunlight fading. The future beckons, open and expansive. Maybe we'll have a child soon, maybe we'll travel, maybe we'll keep building our careers while guiding Zoe and Marcus toward adulthood. Whatever happens, we face it with hope,